Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
What up? What up? What up?
Okay, we got some new members.
Oh, nice. Nice. So right off the bat, let me just announce, I see a few of the comments there, some of the people that I do recognize. Alicia, hello, and Captain Wabuffet, right? Okay. So first, let me just thank your favorite person so far, right? And that is Rochelle. Rochelle, thank you. All right, so guys, I am your host, Alistaire, and I am co-hosted by, of course, Beefy. But this Boîte Noire Radio is special to us, and the reason why is because it allows us to speak about anything and everything and to have an open mind. And like I always say, if you don't have an open mind, Beefy,
get the fuck out of here.
Simple as that. Simple as that. Simple as that.
Just fucking leave.
Okay, look. I have a lot of questions for you. Beefy, do you want to tell people how you got in touch with awesome guests here, just so we can people can understand a little bit the background story?
If I'm being honest, I was trying to see how far up on the search channel the Zodiac, if you type Zodiac into the search bar, like how far down our episode was, and then I ended up seeing the Psychic Sleuth and the whole Zodiac thing. It just kind of went down the rabbit hole on her videos, but pretty cool stuff. I mean, she's got some an extensive backlog of videos and quite the accomplishments. As I'm sure anyone who's in this live stream is familiar with all that she's done, and we'll get more into that. But what she's been able to do in the true crime sphere is impressive. So, I'm excited to dive into it.
Quite impressive. So, Rochelle, I have a ton of questions for you. So when Beefy brought you up, and I've told you this, and guys, if you don't know me, I'm always polite. So I have my point of view, but I deliver it with as much politeness as possible, because offending people, that's not fun, right? And I think I've told you, like, I'm not really religious. I'm not quite really spiritual-ish. I'm a man of science. And so I was like, what is this? So I have plenty of questions. And which was really cool, because when I told you about that, you mentioned, oh, please, I've dealt with this 1,000 million times. Well, please, you're not the new one. You're not new into all this. So thank you for being open to that. My first question, because in one of your videos, I fell into Brian Kohlberger. And one of the first questions, and I didn't dive too much into what you said, but if you're familiar with Ashley Gillard's, and we talked really briefly, and you mentioned to me how she may have interpreted the cards wrong. And she, instead of, I guess, double checking, she just went hard on Rebecca Scottfield. Yeah. And how is it that you understood it so different than her? Like, how is that?
I don't know. Like, I mean, it would be hard so it's easier to now interpret it now that he's been arrested and we know everything, right? Mm-hmm. But during the time, sometimes things are hard to interpret. So the thing is that say she got the teacher card and she was going towards teacher, which now makes sense because he was a teacher's aide, mm-hmm. right?
You actually called out his name, right? Like you saw the name.
You called out his name.
Yeah, I heard it. I didn't know where it fit. I never know where the names fit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah, we're talking about the girl from TikTok. So the thing is that she did something you never do. like you don't go pointing fingers at people. You don't go accusing them, because we have a responsibility that when we're getting the information, we have to understand that we can misinterpret it.
Yeah.
We can read the energy wrong, and we can misunderstand it, because we're only going off of feelings, vibrations, visions, symbols, things that we hear. So we can always misinterpret things. Like I misinterpreted things.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Who's the girl from TikTok? I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's because people in the chat are asking too.
Right. So it's Ashley Gillard. So with Brian Kohlberger, Ashley Gillard pretty much, she was saying publicly, and with such passion that the teacher of Kohlberger is the actual killer. It's not Kohlberger. This is even after he was arrested, and she was going hard with it, Beefy. She was like, "You did it!
Wow.
You did it!" And then she even went further and be like, "You did it because you were having a love affair with one of the girls, and then you went and you were." She's like, "On Tuesday at 6 p.m. you were having sex over there." Like, she went to the itinerary, and I was like, "Girl, where's the allegedly word, honey? You're gonna go to jail." I was like, stop talking so reckless. Yeah, that's why.
Sorry to cut you off. People in the chat are asking who we are. So my name is Beefy, and this is Alistaire from Pack Nation, and we do a podcast called Boîte Noire Radio. I'm gonna put a link to our podcast in the chat. But yeah, we're pretty excited to be here on Psychic Sleuth's channel. We are really appreciative of her hosting us today.
Yes.
They were supposed to host me, but since I have more subs, you guys need to go and sub over there so that they have more people.
But mainly to tell the real truth is because we're technologically
started.
We're technologically idiots. So we're like, what's that? What is that? Yeah, that's why. So yeah, that's the real reason. It's like, well, how do we do this? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that how it works? Pretty much that was it. But hi everyone, and of course thank you for coming in. I want to go back again to
let's finish what we're kind of talking about on this subject. So we have the responsibility to not point fingers, to not do things like that it makes others look bad in a bad light, because if you're wrong,
you're really
like
wrong.
My biggest fear is being wrong. I'm not going to go call somebody out. Like, usually spirit, they can be straightforward and they have been direct with me before, but most of the time they aren't. Most of the times it comes in, puzzle pieces you got to put together. But she was going, like, it was almost like she got a feeling of a teacher, but her mind took it, I think, in another direction. And, she started pointing fingers, and she did something that you never do. You don't do that. You just don't do it.
Why do you think she did it?
Be careful what you say. You got to be careful what you say, because whatever you say, it seems like people will take it to the next level and start, searching people out at, certain locations where you say they might be.
Right.
So you got to be careful what you're saying too. But you can't do that. You just can't.
It's again, like I was saying,
if you're wrong, you're screwing their life up.
Screw their life up. It falls a lot into one of my life principles, which is, if you can, don't hurt or offend anyone, because your words have weight. It's so funny how you come from a psychism. That's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Perceptive, and I'm coming more from a.
Shaw, good point. Yeah, always say allegedly.
Always
true.
Allegedly.
Oh, it's allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, it's always allegedly.
What color is the sky today? Blue, allegedly.
Yeah.
100%.
It's allegedly blue.
It's allegedly blue. Yeah. Lawsuits are real. I want to go also to one of the things we talked about really briefly. By the way, Beefy, before I continue, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, so before we get into all these cases, I'd like to just get a history on Psychic Sleuth a little bit. How did you get into YouTube, and when did you discover that you had these powers? Intuition, that visions, so to speak?
So it's kind of an interesting story. I always say that a lot of people that go through things in life, they start to see things a different way once they've gone through it. I had a really big loss. Actually, I met and was with my twin flame, and he was someone I would never, ever, ever be with. And it was a very, I never thought I could, but it just shows the connection. When you have a connection with someone, you can't refute it. And it's something that I tried to get away from, but couldn't. And so it ended up being a very turbulent, relationship, as he was an addict and things like that. The love was there, when he was sober, everything was great. But when he wasn't, I wrote a whole book about it. Anyways,
what's the book called?
It's called R&R Love, a Twin Flame Story. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's got 5 stars.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I was trying to get it published, but that's a little behind schedule. So
well, congratulations anyways for writing a book. That's an achievement onto
itself.
It
took me 5 years to do it. 5 years to write the book, because I'm very much I'm a procrastinator of the biggest kind. when it comes to that kind of stuff. But so after he passed, it was one of those things where I started to kind of open my eyes differently. I had things that were happening around me that I felt like maybe he was doing. Like, I was raised Christian, but my grandma was very into like clairvoyance and things like that. Like, she was still open-minded. I think her and my aunt even messed with the Ouija board at some point. We have it runs down that family line on the female side. From
so
what
sorry
I
to interrupt you,
understand.
but just because you're religious doesn't mean you can't have a spiritual side. My grandfather is a nuclear physicist, and he's one of the most religious people I've ever met. You know, I even asked him one time, like, how does a scientist be religious? And he told me that, you know, even science and scientists can only explain so much. So to a certain extent, they're, you know, for the stuff we can explain, like, you know.
Well, I mean, it was like I went to Sunday school, I went to church, but like we were like we believed in God, and I still do, but we weren't like really religious, you know. It wasn't like, oh, you don't drink, you know. It wasn't like that. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like that's how I was raised, in that kind of belief system. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and well, there goes with that belief system. You're only good. You only go to heaven if you're good. Like, there's that belief system too, but which is a bunch of bull hockey, by the way. But anyways,
like your visions of Ted Bundy going to heaven. You know?
We'll get into that. But
I'll get into that.
So basically,
I got questions on that.
You know, I have this that comes down the family line, but I wasn't aware of it yet. I had to have something to awaken me in a sense, which is what this whole situation did. I also, I don't know if I like reached the other, I don't know if my heart stopped. I don't know, whatever. I actually wasn't, I entered a dark place right before my husband passed away. I had started taking a new antidepressant, and I took a bunch of pills. I didn't know what I was doing. And once I realized it, I called my friend, and she came over, and my blood pressure dropped and everything. So they called the hospital, and it was like a total accident because I didn't even know what I was doing. I think it was a reaction to the new antidepressant I was taking. And I didn't see the other side or anything. It was just pitch black. That's all I remember, really. So I don't know if it was like an in-between or anything. I really don't even know if that has anything to do with my awakening. I just think it's interesting. And so, you know, the next day my husband passed away, and from there it kind of went. And I started reaching out to mediums. And well, actually, I didn't really reach out. They found me, let's say that. So there's a lady where I used to live, it was very kind of you didn't see a lot of mediums where I used to live. Like, there's a lot of churches and stuff. Like, you didn't see that. And so I don't even remember how we got in touch, but we got in touch, and she came over and she did a reading for me. And I mean, she knew stuff. There's no freaking way she would have known.
This is when you were younger? You were a child when this happened?
No, this after my husband passed away.
Okay.
And I was awakening and I was wanting to communicate with him. So all that stuff that I just talked about, like, happened like right bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
So I reached out to her. She did a reading for me, and when she was done with the reading, I was like, you know what? I want to do this. Like, this is kind of cool. Like, I want to help people like this.
So can you learn to be a psychic?
Well, you can open up. Like, we're not all gifted the same way, so we're not going to all have the same gifts. Some are going to be stronger than others.
Oh, wow. So are you telling me right now that we can be you can
learn to open up and tap in, definitely, yeah.
Wow.
You know, it's a vibrational thing, and you kind of, I don't know, you can learn to open up, you can learn to clear your chakras, you can learn to tap in. So that's kind of what I did. As I started working on it, I ended up meeting a lot of people along the way that helped me with that. I met my mentor. She's passed away now, but she came in and she was like, look, you need to be doing readings. I was like, what? I need to be doing readings? What are you talking about? I literally just started this path. Well, what happened is I was always supposed to do this. I just didn't know. I hadn't awakened to it yet. So it can be inside of us, and then something can open us up, like a really hard passing or something like that. And it can kind of awaken us to the other side and to our gifts.
And just like anything, really, the best way to learn something is by doing it. So
exactly. So I started like auto writing my husband, and I started like tapping in that way. And that's why I do so well when I like to do my readings, through chat or typing, because that's how I originally tapped in, and it's just me. I'm just focused with spirit. So I started auto writing him. I started meditating a whole lot, and I decided, hey, I'm gonna open up a grief group. So I opened up a grief group, and I just thought I'm just gonna help people with experience like I went through.
So how long before you started the YouTube channel?
Well, I'm getting into that. That's the next part.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So I know it's kind of like a long drawn out story, but
Okay.
So I started the grief group, and I was channeling, but I didn't realize I was channeling when I was helping people. It was like, where are these words coming from? So one day I was like, I started getting information for this lady for her son, and I still have her on my Facebook. And I was like, do you mind if I tell you what I'm getting? And she's like, no, it's fine. Go ahead. So I started getting stuff, and there was no way I could have known it. I didn't know the lady. I'd never met her before in my life. But the one thing I remember from that reading that I'll always remember was he mentioned mashed potatoes. And I'm like, what? Mashed potatoes? Like, why am I going to say freaking mashed potatoes? Right? So I tell her that. It was all about trust at that point, right? I just got to say what I'm getting. So I say that, and she's like, well, I'm standing at the stove right now cooking mashed potatoes.
Wow.
And it was in that moment I was like, okay, well, he's obviously with you right now, seeing what you're doing. So from there, it kind of went to Spirit pushed me to do a YouTube channel. I got my channel got jacked. My channel got jacked by China. And I had to start all over. So I've actually been doing it a little bit longer. I've actually been doing this about 11 years. And I started YouTube like maybe 9-10 years ago. I also did a podcast around that same time. It was American Crime Cast. If you look up American Crime Cast, there's Beverly Warzay. If you listen to that, I'm the medium they're talking about, but we couldn't figure out how to record me. So they just read my reading.
Oh, wow.
But that was like, I know. And then a cop came on there and validated everything. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
But so then it kind of went from there. I've had podcasts, I've been doing YouTube, and like people, I've come a long way. Like back then, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, your accreditations and your catalog is no joke, like for sure.
Yeah, and I went from like auto writing and reading it to last year. I switched over to doing. We'd tried live readings, and then I realized I can't do live readings because I mind read the chat. I pick up stuff people are saying, so it overtakes, especially if there's a lot of people saying the same thing. Right. So because I don't watch the chat, but I'll still pick it up. So I decided we can't do that anymore. Wow. We need to record. So we do that now. That's basically how it all got started, and I started doing readings ever since then. Like I did them for free for a really long time till I had the gist of it. Before I started charging, I wanted to make sure I was good enough to charge. Hey.
So that's your animals. I was wondering who's barking.
It's the middle of the day, so you will hear barking.
I have a dog too, and I was like, what is she doing? What's going on up there? No, perfect. I'm glad it's not my dog. Perfect.
Yeah, no. So that's basically my whole gist.
Now, you mentioned a lot of the readings, and we talked very briefly, and you say that when you do your readings, they sometimes speak to you through the microphone, and I couldn't ask you too many questions then. So here's my question to that: how the hell does that feel? Like, do you just feel the vibration on the mic, or is it just like the mic irritates you? I mean, explain to me. How do you know?
We didn't know. We don't know till we listen back.
Oh, snap.
We listen back and we hear it. Like last night on the sub one that I did, it sounded like I was underwater.
Oh, snap.
It was weird. It was like it was like an echo, but at the same time it sounded like I was underwater, and then you could hear voices too.
So
like they just started doing that. They never did that before.
So I have another question then. So in that case, because this is in relation to the submarine, right? So if your voice was emulating you be underwater, then there was a spirit that was telling you that was channeling the connection between the people trapped in the water and you. So does that mean
I was tapped into the CEO.
So does that mean the CEO is dead? Oh, snap.
Yeah, you were getting premonitions about Titanic before we even had any inclinations about this submarine thing, right?
The CEO is dead.
Yeah, a year ago it came in.
Wow, a year ago.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
I mean, we didn't know till it happens. It's one of those things, like I always tell people, like when I get stuff, it's not to stop it. Like we can't stop what's meant to happen. It's more like a validation for one, and validation of prediction, and kind of to prepare yourself. We don't really know until it happens. But a lot of the auto rights, I mean, I could do it would be so much to do a validation video. I've wanted to do it, but it's like, man, I'd have to find so much stuff and put it all together. It would take me forever.
Can I ask you another question? So you mentioned earlier that as a matter of principle, you have to be very careful about the words you say because of how heavy the weights are. But was there ever a situation where you've made a reading or you've made a prediction, it was not super accurate? You know what? I'll go even further. It wasn't accurate at all. What happens then? Like from the psychic perspective, what happens next?
I get really hard on myself.
Okay. And then
I get really hard on myself.
Do you try to communicate again? So let's just say, I mean, you use the CEO example now, right? So let's say if it comes out the CEO is alive, let's just say that. Do you go back and be like, who was talking to me underwater? Or is it, do you just let it go? Or do you try to...
So I try to, I guess I kind of try to understand like why I got it wrong or what I got wrong, because I'm always learning and growing like everybody else. Like I'm just a human connecting to another vibration. That's it. Like I'm tuning in a radio station. I can get it wrong. I'm human. I'm not God. I don't know everything.
Of course. Oh my God, I do that all the time. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like I have got it wrong, where I thought someone was deceased, but they were really just drugged up. So they were at the really low vibration to where they felt like it, and I was still communicating with their spirit, or I was picking up someone else around the situation.
Wow.
That maybe, someone else was deceased and I pulled them in instead. Like that's happened, I think, once or twice. That's why I don't like to ever say that someone's deceased or alive, because it's really hard to tell. I wait till I'm done with the reading and how I'm connected to them. Like some psychic mediums can tell you right away, but for me, because sometimes I connect to people when they're alive strongly as well, it's hard for me to tell. But last night, the way that I was made to feel, and all the information, if I get a ton of information, they're usually gone.
And you're talking about the submarine that they're dead.
Yeah. So because I don't ever like to say that, I could totally be like wrong, and I don't ever want to tell anybody, oh yeah, your loved one's deceased, and they're not. So
now, let me tell you something also really in regards to, because I could tell you right now that even though they've been there for, let's just say 24 hours or so, this is the psychic aside, which is why I do believe that someone is most likely dead by now, because it's one thing if you're there for a couple hours and come back up. It's another thing if you're there for 24 hours, because even if the pressure doesn't kill you, it's freezing.
Yeah.
It's really,
and
really
even if they
cold.
At this point, even if they found a way to bring them up, because it would take so long for them to go through the compression stuff or whatever.
The cabin is pressurized. The pressure, the cabin is pressurized. That wouldn't be the issue. The issue is the cold. Like even if you wear socks, even if you wear a jacket, it's just a matter of time before you freeze.
No, they would still need to do decompression stops. If they were to find a way to bring them up, they would still need to do the decompression stops. I
don't think so, because the capsule it's pretty pressurized.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those things when I first started getting hits on it, because I try to tap in before I did a reading. It's always better for me to sit down and do a reading, because sometimes random stuff I don't really understand. Sometimes I'm like getting random stuff. Like I kept seeing a woman being rescued. Yeah, I kept seeing a woman being rescued. Well, I was like, there's no women on there. And I was even afraid to say it, but it turns out they went missing before and there was a woman on there. So that's the past part of it. Spirit was trying to tell me they've been missing before, and that's why they showed me a woman, not a man. Makes sense? So it didn't make sense until I realized there was a woman missing before and it went missing before. But at the time I was like, what? Like, I'm totally off on this. No way are they going to be rescued. No way, But it was because they were rescued before. And then I kept seeing the hook of them bringing it up. Now I think, and I was getting miraculous recovery, but recovery is not rescue. Someone brought that to my attention last night. Like they might just recover the submarine and not actually rescue the people.
Very good point. Love it. By the way, do you have any questions for us, Miss Rochelle?
Rochelle.
So
Well,
I say it like that. I say it like that only because Beefy, if you
everybody calls
remember.
me Rachel.
Well, yes, they got it. Okay, well, do you have any questions? Fine.
So you're open. The good thing is that you're open. You know, you're skeptical, but you're not cynical, and you're more science-based, which totally makes sense because this has actually been scientifically studied.
Oh,
If you
yes, it has.
if you watch, I mean, they've done it to like Tyler Henry, Long Island Medium, where they've studied their brain while they've done readings. Have you seen those?
Yes, I have.
What do you think about that?
Not those specifically, and it is correct. It is correct. There is a unexplained there's unexplained phenomena in regards to brainwaves, but how they can connect. So you can connect to other living organism via a brainwave connection. It's there is something there, but they just cannot put a finger on it scientifically, but they cannot rule it out. I've read that study and I thought that was absolutely amazing and explains a lot of the times why some people feel more connected or kindred to animals. Some
Like
don't.
me?
And it was fascinating when I read the article, because they were actually trying to be like, no, guys, listen, electricity runs through our head, right? That's the whole nature of how nerves work. With electricity comes waves. So no doubt that we emit wave, and we don't even understand how the full capacity of the brain perception. So they can't rule out the fact that we feel somebody else's wave 100%. Now that I believe. Yeah.
So I noticed that a lot of people with gifts like mine, we have ADHD.
Oh yeah, welcome to the club.
Somebody brought it. Well, somebody brought it. I didn't have it before. I didn't have it before I had my gifts. I got ADHD out of it, and it's like bad sometimes. So
you think opening yourself up to the like psychic sphere or whatever actually like changed you as a person?
It did.
Wow.
It changed me as a person in so many ways. Like I look back to when I was 20 and I am not the same person. I have grown so much through just experience and this kind of work and understanding everything more, but also like it gave me ADHD. but someone brought it to my attention because I was like, I wonder why like all of us have like ADHD that are able to connect to the other side. Well, it's a faster vibration. It's a high vibration. So our brain has to go faster, in my opinion, for us to reach that. But it makes sense to me because ADHD, we're kind of
yeah.
It's the same thing. So it's like, and we kind of have to learn how to like slow down our brain a little bit. And I'm an air sign. I'm always up here, up here.
Whoa! Wow, look at the clouds.
I'm total air. Like I'm double Aquarius with the Libra, where my justice comes in at why I go towards the true crime. But yeah, I'm all up in the air all the time. I'm airheaded, man.
Now, speaking of true crime, I am absolutely fascinated at the fact that Ted Bundy likes you a lot. Right, Beefy?
Yeah, her and Ted Bundy are they're homies there.
No, her and Ted Bundy hang out because let me tell you something. When you told me that, I was like, Beefy, what is she talking about? Is she saying Ted Bundy is like hanging out with her? What is going on? No,
he's got like a perma seat just like in her in her head. He's just hanging out always.
This is absolutely amazing because you know what? Let me tell you something. There's no other way to understand a criminal if not a criminal can tell you more about them, right? Exactly. And it's almost like, Ted Bundy, you must be really bored over there in hell. But you mentioned
do you feel him there right now with Bundy?
Yeah, is he here?
Well, I usually call him in. He's not intrusive.
Okay, wait. Can you try calling?
Can you call him? Dahmer? Yeah, can you call Bundy? Yes, call Dahmer in.
Let's go, Dahmer.
Dahmer.
I have questions for you,
we were
Dahmer.
doing readings today. I didn't think. But that whole thing was kind of interesting how it got started, and we did we did a whole astrology thing on that. Like it's on we did a whole astrology live where I had an astrologist come in because I couldn't understand the connection of this. So we brought in an astrologist and she basically said okay, you're supposed to be doing this work. You've always supposed to been doing this work. You're supposed to find criminals, do things like that. And he's supposed to help you. There's a past life connection there. Our charts intertwine. So, and what I always try to tell people is I'm a non-judgmental person. Like, we don't know what all you people did before you came to Earth. We don't know, like, before you came to Earth again, like, we don't know what you were in past lives.
Okay.
Nobody's perfect. We got to have the light and the dark. And if we look at what he accomplished by his darkness, he started the whole thing with serial killers and people studying them and learning more about all of that. And he kind of brought in the psychopath thing. And so we learned more by studying him.
Yeah,
and
right.
that was
he was one of the first serial killers that the FBI actually profiled and
that
studied.
we knew about, right? And so the astrologist was saying he had a purpose. No matter if anybody liked it or not, he had a purpose. We all
he helped detectives catch the Green River Killer too.
Yeah,
like he helped the FBI.
And so we can't really condemn people that come with mental illness. Obviously, he came here as a psychopath, and he has something wrong with his brain, and it's something that we can't condemn people that have mental illness for, although we don't approve of what they do, and what they do is wrong. But then there comes in the whole soul contract thing, like every single one of his victims have a soul contract with him. They signed up to go through this with him as part of the lesson and part of everything. I have a whole video on that.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
So did you sign Bundy's soul contract? Are you like bound to him now for the rest of your life? Do you owe him?
We have, according to our astrology chart, we are supposed to make people look at things differently in the work that we do. He's supposed to help me do this, but I didn't know that at the time. I channeled him a couple of times as to try to find out if he had more victims and stuff, and he was very forthcoming. And we did an astrology chart of the times that I did that and what it meant. And then there's too much to go into on that. You guys can just check out the video. He's got
a of course.
Okay, so wait, we got this comment on here from Carly. Do you actually have the ability to like actually try to reach out to Dahmer? Like, do you have?
Yeah, I do. I do. I always tell people, like, they don't have to talk to us. No spirit has to talk to us, but they usually do.
Okay, can we do it?
And when I first reached out to Ted, he was in the dark, because I saw dark around him. But with helping with Idaho 4, the reading that he helped me with, after Kohlberger was arrested, he came to me. He said, "I told you so."
Dahmer did?
No, Bundy did.
Oh, Bundy. Okay.
Bundy on Idaho 4.
Can we do it? Yeah, like can we do it?
And
don't feel pressured.
He came. I was literally at a salad bar when this happened. Like, I was getting a salad, and he came in my mind's eye, and he's like, "I told you so." And he showed me him walking down into a tunnel into the light. So he's showing me that because he had helped with that, he transitioned.
Oh, great question, H.E. Copeland. Yeah, did Bundy scare you when you first started to reach out to him?
I'm not judgmental. I'm not afraid of him. That's one thing you cannot do with this is you cannot be afraid. You cannot be afraid with this because you will attract the darker energy. Your light has to be stronger than that.
So
but Ted already knew what he had waited a long time for this to happen.
So he was eyeing you out. He was
as his redemption.
To make sure that
he probably watched me my whole life. Who knows? In one of the readings, he said, "Don't worry, you weren't my type."
How dare you, Ted?
Yeah.
How dare you, Ted? What do you mean?
What a judgmental spirit.
It wasn't our soul contract for that to happen.
Dead ass, bro.
The next time I tapped in with him, he was standing with all of his victims. So he was standing with all of his victims, like, we're all good, That's the next time I tapped into him.
That's so insane. So the victims are stuck with a soul contract with Ted Bundy?
Wow, poor things.
I mean, and that's the thing with soul contracts is, like, you can't stop what's meant to happen. And it's always for a higher purpose and a higher good, right? So we learned a lot from that situation. And those souls, just like addicts that come here, they have a harder soul contract. And they are some of the strongest people because they chose to come and deal with that addiction. It's kind of the same thing as they chose to come and deal with mental illness. It's something that is, you have to overcome. So you have to be a really strong soul to do that. And he put a lot of burden on himself.
Oh, wow.
To be the most hated man.
Okay.
But still have a purpose. And they had a purpose with him.
So he didn't care. That's what you're saying.
What do you mean?
So, because he was the most hated man, but he didn't give a crap. So he was like,
He doesn't.
oh well.
No, he doesn't care.
He didn't care.
Actually, he liked, because he also knew he was liked as much as he was hated. Because
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
he liked
he's
that.
not wrong.
He had that.
He's
Yeah,
like,
he had
yeah,
that arrogance.
Ted Bundy.
It's
He had
still
that
to this
arrogance.
day, like, oh, he was such a
Dangerous.
great lawyer. He was so good looking. It's like
Yeah.
they just
He's like, where's
love
the knife?
talking up Ted Bundy.
Are you hungry?
How about
Nobody-
this? I'll make you guys.
Nobody
a deal.
ever talks about the victims, but they love talking about how handsome Ted Bundy was. Oh, it's so annoying.
Mhm.
Yeah, but wait, let's talk
and-
about this soul contract really quickly, because I'm a homebody in real life. I cannot imagine being put to work at the afterlife. I feel like, wait, where am I? What is going
My
on?
relaxing time,
Like,
yeah.
No, I'm relaxed. I
No,
know you work so
so-
hard in real life. What do you mean I have a soul
You
contract?
don't have
Get
to
out of
work.
here, Rip.
No, I mean, people do have jobs and things on the other side. Like, some people like to learn more, but they can do whatever they want as their
Amazing.
version of heaven. Like, if you want to sit on a beach all day, you can. But there's ones that like to go to the library and look at, learn things and go to the Akashic records. And
Whoa,
Is that-
hold on.
Hold
Okay,
on.
wait. What's this comment from Bethany? You said China hacked you, and I know Russia tried. What is she talking about? You got hacked by China?
So I say no. The first reading that the first YouTube channel I had, it got hacked by China.
What?
It's okay. They want to
How
learn
do you
English
know?
too.
How do you know it was China?
Because all of a sudden there's all this Chinese stuff on my
Oh.
YouTube, and people were like, "I knew that wasn't you." And then I got it back. Right, I got it back. YouTube got it back for me, but then it was never the same. No one could see my videos or anything. And then I don't know. Then the comments got taken over. It was just weird. Like, if you go on my old channel and you try to comment, it gets deleted. It's the weirdest thing. Because I was trying to get all my people over here that were over there. Because when I did Shanann Watts, that was like my biggest video over there. I
That
had
is
like 85,000 views on that one, and I was like, man, I hate to leave my channel and all that just happened, but.
Okay, another thing I'm dying to talk to you about is the Delphi case, right? Because I mean, I was obsessed with that. The whole video that came out, those two poor little girls, and it blew my mind for as long as that case went unsolved. Is that because they have a video of that guy and his voice. For anybody that doesn't know, these two little girls, they were walking down this train trusset, and right before they got murdered. One of the little girls took a video on her cell phone of the murderer, the guy that ends up killing her. And they released footage of the killer walking on this train track and a snippet of his voice. But you actually called him out by his name before police actually arrested the guy, right?
Yeah. And you know what? I had people coming at me. I forgot where it was, and they're like, "We already knew about him before you got that in May." And I'm like, "You did, really? Because was he arrested? Was it in the news? No, it wasn't. So shut up." But I guess it was all in the.
We're not talking about just
Reddit
like
feed.
with Kohlberger, where you said Brian, you said first and last name, like you knew it was him.
That's literally the first time that ever happened. And what was crazy is I had worked Delphi for the whole time, on and off for the whole 5 years. I had done 13 readings on it altogether,
Absolutely
or something like
crazy.
that. And I was auto writing a lot of that. So what I didn't understand at the time when I was auto writing is I was also pulling in interconnects in other cases. Like, I didn't understand that's how my auto write worked.
Sorry to interrupt you again. What's auto writing?
So an auto write is, like I was saying, that's how I first started connecting to spirit. I sit down and basically they take over and I type what they say or show me.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's another form of channeling where I'm writing or typing what I'm channeling, and that's
like that woman back in the 30s who wrote the book through a ghost, and it was one of the most published work. She was just some housewife, but because she was a medium, some spirit from way back in the day wrote through her, and the works that she published are incredible writings that she could have never been capable of. I forget what her name is and what the the exact details of it are, but crazy stuff.
That is auto writing. So, but I didn't know at the time kind of how it worked, as far as I was still new at all this. So I was pulling in different cases and things like that. And I remember I kept getting a truck driver in that, but now we're thinking the Stevensons that's connected to Delphi as a truck driver. So that's interesting. But when I started doing live, I was like, you know what? It's time to go back to Delphi. It's just time. I have a pull back to cases, and I'm like, there's a reason, because everything has a timing, right? For years,
Yeah.
I had gotten he was going to get arrested in October, but it didn't say what year it was going to be. But I was like, it's time. So it was almost like Spirit gifted me with that name because he was going to be arrested, and the timing of it was going to happen that year. So like I tell everybody, everything has a timing. He would not have been arrested before. Like, people don't get found before they're supposed to. It all has a timing. So because they had told me October for years, it was going to happen in October, and they gave me 5. I took it as 5 years, which is the 5th year, that it happened. But yeah, to be gifted with the first and last name, it's kind of something that is very rare. It usually is not that specific.
Do you sleep well at night?
I do.
Do you have like 8 hours long?
I do.
Oh, okay. You take melatonin. Wow, that's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure.
Well, see, when that happened, I didn't even remember I got the name because I don't remember my readings. It's like I channel and I'll remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember it. So when people say he was arrested, I had to go back and see my reading to see I got the name. And actually, I had gotten Richard the very first reading I ever did. Or no, Alan. Is Richard or Alan? One of them. I got the very first reading I ever did like 5 years ago.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's unheard of. And
now I
was baffled.
Let's put a little cackle into this wiggle. Question. Now, in the community of psychics, do you guys ever get into heated fights, like of words? Okay, let me explain my question better, because maybe the English didn't come out well. So obviously not a fist fight. I hope not. No, but I mean, like, like, I saw this and you saw that
has happened to me. That has
you don't understand. Do you know
it's
what I mean?
ridiculous. That's all ego. It's all ego, and it's actually pretty ridiculous when that happens.
Yeah.
This is why I most likely stay to myself. I don't like to watch others because I feel like it taints the reading. I go with what I get and what Spirit gets, so I try to stay away from
authentic. Yeah.
Mediums. I don't watch anybody else except for like Sensing Murder and things like that. But as far as mediums on YouTube, I don't watch them. But I did, after Kohlberger was arrested, someone well-known did come in my comments and say that I stole her reading. Yep, my reading was done first. She said I stole her information, and mine was posted first. Wow. Yeah. And I was also the first one to relate him to Ted Bundy, and she said she was in the comments, and I'm like, okay, dude, like, no, get out of here. But
oh wow.
Yeah, they totally it's happened. That happened, but it's okay. That's just ego. That's something that they need to deal with. That's not something really I need to deal with. It's not on me. It's on them.
That's really good to know. Now, would you say in the community, are you the norm or you are the abnorm? In terms of not having such an ego?
I think we all have a little bit of ego. Like, that's just the human nature, right?
The human nature.
We just have to keep our ego in check.
In check, of course.
We have to keep it in check.
Of course. Oh, okay. So, Biffy, do you want anything to add before I go to my next question?
Oh, no, go for it, man. You're good. Doing a great job.
Oh, thank you, Biffy. Thank you so much. I just saw really quickly there in the comment that someone said, "Who is this guy?" I'm assuming you're referring to me.
It's one of my subs, yeah.
Yeah. Listen. My name is Alistaire. I am a host on Boîte Noire Radio, and we are being lovely invited, if that's proper English, by the lovely Rachel. Wink, wink.
Rochelle.
I know. That's why I said wink, wink. Yeah. And my co-host there is the squirrel. That's his mascot. And his name is
Beefy with the anxiety.
Exactly. So we both have our respective channels. I'm Alistaire with Pack Nation, and Beefy is Beefy with anxiety. And but we have this podcast together, and we came across your lovely matriarch, and as a person who don't really believe in psychism, I know that's not a word, but I don't know what else to use. So it was good for me to come in here and just ask questions, because we do a lot of true crime situation, and the fact that your matriarch, I say that with all love, matriarch has quite an interesting brainwave capability to decipher the difficulties. It was good to ask this question, so that's why we're here. I hope I hope I introduced myself with as much laughter. I hope you're laughing. There. All right. So, all right, let's go to my next question. So I want to ask you about you finding missing objects.
Oh,
Right? Yeah, because let me tell you something, Rochelle. Let me tell you something. You're hired because I lose everything all the time. And I feel like where's my remote
so does
control?
Tammy.
How does
I'm
that
constantly
work?
buying stuff for Tammy.
Yeah, how does that work? Now, let me tell you something. Is it Ted Bundy who tells you it's left, right, up, down? Or is it like, what is it? What is it? How is that? Does it work differently?
So with Tammy, one time he did tell me where her charger was right before we did his reading. He did tell me that. Because she was looking for a charger and I'm like, it's on the table because I heard it. And she goes and looks and it was on the table. She's like, okay, I found the charger, time to do the reading. So yeah, I found Becky, I found her ring. She was missing a ring, and I was like, "Oh, it's between the bed and the nightstand." And she goes, "Okay." She goes and pulls it out. She finds a ring. So it's all about like I have to describe where things are, and it's easier if it's in the house. But if I describe it, and if you can figure out where I'm talking about, then Tammy knows how I work, so she usually goes right to it. Like if I tell her something's under the bed, she checks all the beds. Sometimes
Wow.
I describe the bed and she'll know more of what I'm talking about if spirit shows me that. We did actually a live where I was finding things for people, and I found like her because I found her tablet. She was about to ground her kids, so I found her tablet.
What?
And
I'm from France, by the way, if you're wondering.
when I first started, I found somebody's water pipe that their landlord didn't know where it was. I was like, it's like this many feet to that side of the house.
That's
And
crazy.
like, oh my God, they found the water pipe and the landlord didn't even know where it was because she had a leak.
Wow.
Can I say something a little more sinister? I know they talked about how like, oh, be careful for the government to kidnap you, lock you in the basement, hanging from the ceiling, just answering questions, right? So, but forget about that. I'm talking about the average lunatic down the street who's like, oh my God, this lady there is obviously seeing me doing this crime.
I try not to like put where I live or anything out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find it, but I try not to.
Yeah, they can find it. It's not that hard. Welcome to America. No, it's not that hard.
Good luck trying to get in here with all the dogs I got. That's that. Good luck for that.
Wow. Because it's a lot on your shoulder. But there's also people who might be like, oh, well.
Well, you know what? I feel like I'm protected. If something's meant to happen, it's meant to happen. That's how I live my life. I could walk across the street tomorrow and be hit by a car.
Oh yeah, all the time.
I don't sit and wonder what's going to happen. It's just if it's going to. I could live to be 80 or I could live to be 50. It doesn't.
Well, we all could die tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean.
It's kind of like when the sky turned red. Biffy, you know that story. I was in the office and the Canada was burning, and so all the sky here in America was red that day. I had no idea. I was in the office in the dark, and I was like, let's get some light into this MF. And I opened the shade, and I'm like, what? The sky is red. So I'm thinking, and I smell burn. I'm like, oh my God, a meteorite hit the earth. We're all gonna die.
My biggest fear, though.
Like, oh crap! The meteorite hit the earth. We are so screwed. And like I was saying, the last thing I want to do is run away from my life. Like, come on, I just got back from work. I gotta go out and run. Please. Yeah. Biffy, any question before I continue?
No, I want to get into Zodiac at some point. Yeah, so you have the same theory that a lot of people do about Zodiac. And like I said initially, this is how we originally found your video. And we talked a little bit about it yesterday, but you think that there are multiple killers. And I'm curious, because we didn't really get into it extensively yesterday, what leads you to think that there are multiple killers? And if it was one in particular thing, or did you get a premonition about something? Like, can you just elaborate a little bit onto what made you think there might be multiple killers in the Zodiac case?
That case was so confusing, like most serial killer cases are that I work, because sometimes I pull in a lot from the different victims, and sometimes I pull in people that have been arrested that they've looked at. So it's kind of hard because I can get a lot around a case. Like I pull in so much information sometimes I don't know where it fits. But after people have certain people have messaged me and told me things like, well, this person fits all this and this person fits all this, and I was getting information on both of them. It just makes me wonder if it was a group or multiple people. And it's actually, when we were talking yesterday, I actually heard the Zodiacs instead of Zodiac, the Zodiacs. So it's almost like Spirit was saying there's more than one, and whether it be a group or copycats, or I think that's why they had such a hard time, is that their evidence isn't connecting the dots, right? So they have all this evidence that connects to one person, and they have all this evidence that connects to another person, and it's like, well, we know that they're connected, but how are they connected if the evidence, the evidence isn't jiving? Like you were saying about I heard that they, about the palm print and the fingerprint, and then Spirit also gave me that reference to Delphi, which made me think of Alan, the name Alan. And then somebody's like, oh yeah, there was, the person with the palm print and stuff named Alan. And a lot of the stuff, a lot of the stuff that I got fit his childhood, and his past. So he's military and all of that. So, I just think that the way maybe I'm pulling in more than one perp, because there is more than one perp.
I thought that too, especially when Biffy, when you were explaining the case on Boîte Noire, you were good job, by the way. But when I was visualizing it as you were talking, it's like, this is back in the day where there was no internet and it was very hard to do stuff manually, if you know what I mean. And like, do they really have that kind of time to run around in circles and mail all those mail and do everything the way that, like, it seemed like it didn't make a lot of sense for one person to do all of that intricate job and do it well. Like, so I in my mind, I was like, maybe there's more than one person in this, or, maybe it was just one guy with too much time on his hands.
Well, if we even go through the case files of Zodiac, at each different attack, all the victims describe a different person. Even though they're very similar by the way those describe them, the way that each victim is describing him is totally different. Like, at one point, he's a stocky guy. At another one, he's a slim guy who's really tall. At another one, he had glasses. And then at another one, he was, didn't have glasses and all this stuff. So it really tracks with what Psychic Sleuth is saying, where it could be multiple people. I'm curious, though, when you picture, like, some of the individual attacks, like, for example, the shooting at Blue Rock Springs or the shootings in Vallejo, as compared to, like, the Lake Berryessa stabbings, or the shooting of Paul Stein in the cab, the modus operandi are so different in all of those attacks. Are you getting premonitions of different people for each incident, or does it feel like the same people were involved in all of them? If that makes sense. Like, is it the same group of people for all attacks, or is it one person did one, another person did another?
I don't think, did I pull cards on that one? Yeah, I did pull cards on that one. I don't know, because I didn't see all the attacks. I kind of just give like what Spirit gives. Like, I don't get every single detail. But it seems like they were giving me information on two perps at least. Because I remember I kept flip-flopping between a bald guy and a guy that wasn't bald. But they were both deceased, and both of these guys are deceased. Like, they kept telling me someone was in a wheelchair, which Alan was, I guess, or something. One of them was at one point. And I guess he passed away pretty young. 30s or something in prison. I can't remember. And then the other one just recently passed. Now he DNA connects, right? Or something. There's some kind of, they have evidence that say that he's the guy. They both have weapons. Like, I just wonder if they knew each other or if one's a copycat. Like, I definitely know that I got information on two people, and that I was having a hard time deciphering, like, who did it.
So the DNA hit that was in the news recently, that's not verified by the FBI. Okay. That was something independent by a group of internet sleuths, almost, kind of like us. His name is Robert Post. He's not officially labeled as a Zodiac suspect beyond this independent group of people that think it was him.
But there was stuff that matched that I got with him.
Oh, real with Post?
Well, yeah, but it's hard because they both have similar. They were both in the military. They're both deceased. So it's hard to tell like which one I was picking up, but I did keep seeing the bald guy. So I do feel Alan is definitely he definitely did some stuff because
Wow.
I also get like the childhood that I was getting matched him too. And they related the name to Delphi. So he's allegedly, well, do we have to say allegedly now that he's gone?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, definitely whoever the Zodiac is not alive anymore from what they showed me.
And just
Wow.
like Shaw's saying, with Arthur Lee Allen, that was a big theory on the case, is that he had multiple personalities because his handwriting didn't match the Zodiac letters. So what a lot of people think is that he had
Yes.
multiple personalities. And
that
would
could be two.
That would definitely affect the way you get your readings, right? If you're basically getting a reading on someone's personality, but it's actually another one that's committing the murders.
Yeah. So it could be multiple like I could be, that's maybe why I was flip-flopping. Like I'm seeing him bald, but then I'm seeing him with hair. Maybe his other personality had hair. And
Or maybe
it is
that's
possible that if they connect this other guy and by some way, shape, or form, that he just copycatted. But I think allegedly Alan's the original one. That's where my feeling goes. Too much matched him specifically, you know. And Spirit did tell me the relation to the name of Delphi, which told me Alan. I didn't want to say Alan because I get that name so much lately. It's crazy. Like it's everywhere. So sometimes I question that because I hear that name a lot.
Is it possible one suspect with multiple personalities could make you think that it's multiple people? Like maybe it is just one person, but you're getting the different personalities, like intuitions of those same personalities all in one brain?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I'm saying that's why I'm flip-flopping, because I don't know if you like remember in the reading where I was like, I'm getting like the bald guy, which Alan's the bald guy, right? But then I kept flip-flopping to, well, now I'm getting this guy with hair. So I think I was picking up, and that might be why his handwriting didn't match, because if he had multiple personalities, his handwriting wouldn't match. It would match the other personality from what we understand and know about multiple personalities, right? And so that's very possible. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah.
Wow.
Interesting
stuff. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense because I mean they have evidence against him, right? The palm print and the fingerprint. I definitely feel I'm getting like he was definitely involved with the cab.
So as far as I know, the thumbprint in blood that came from Paul Stein's cab and the partial palm print that it got from the letter, those prints haven't been matched to anybody. In fact, the Arthur Lee Allen, the prints that they had ruled him out. He was ruled out by DNA prints and handwriting. But again, the handwriting could be explained if he has multiple personalities. Plus, he was also what do they call it, ambidextrous. So there are theories all over the place to explain why Arthur Lee Allen could still be involved. But the DNA is tough.
Yeah, the DNA. So that's when it brings into the multiple people, because I still think he's involved. I got too much information on him for him not to be.
Not to be.
I mean, the DNA samples came from the letters, and he could have had somebody else licking stamps. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or if he did have multiple personality, yeah, you're right. He could have had someone else look at stamps. It depends on how smart he was. I mean, sometimes these guys are pretty smart.
You know what? A lot of times they're very smart, but I think also because the nature of us human beings, most of us are nice people. Like I wouldn't think that my neighbor is stalking me to murder me, right? So most people, sorry for that noise, my daughter is up. Most people would just, hey, can you help me? Sure. Can you change my tire for me? Absolutely. Can you get under the car? Okay. And then
you got a broken arm? I'll help
right.
you. Yeah.
You know, like how many of you would stop if you're driving down the road and you see an elderly woman, like, help me? Of course I'll stop and help. Yeah. Right. So it's very easy. We easy prey because we are trusting and nice. We don't think most people are nice people. It's just this few. We are easy prey. We're easy to catch. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things. Like I left that reading more confused than when I went to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's because I get puzzle pieces, so I got to put the puzzle pieces together, and it's like, well, a lot of stuff matches this guy, and a lot of stuff matches this guy and this guy. So who the frick is he? Like that's like, are you kidding?
You know. What made you go into, like, did that reading just pop up, or is this something?
Yeah, me and Tammy were just like, oh, let's do it.
Oh, I see.
I was always curious. Sometimes I get curious, and my curiosity overrides. I'm like, oh, I'm really curious about this case. Let me go see what I can get on it.
Was there a particular spirit that helped you with the Zodiac?
Ted.
Oh, Ted.
I try to use him on serial killer cases a little bit easier because I'm not tapping into multiple energies. I'm just tapping into him, and he helped catch the Green River killer. So
you know what? I'm going to put a picture of Ted Bundy somewhere here because I'm sorry, I'm connected. Hi, Ted. I'm connected. Yeah,
He's behind
Ted,
you. Look
Ted,
out!
Ted.
Look out! He's behind you, Alistair. He's there.
Listen to me. Don't look for Jeffrey Dahmer. Call your friend. Enough of this.
Yeah.
For him.
I think Dahmer might be in the dark. I don't know. I've never tried to connect to him.
Now,
I don't know
explain to me
anything,
this thing
like-
about dark and light, because you told me it's like no, Ted Bundy is in the light enjoying heaven,
Well, yeah,
and I'm
'cause he
like, can't compute. So explain to me a little bit. What the hell
well,
do you mean?
just because we're bad doesn't in this life
Ted.
doesn't mean that we're condemned forever. Like I said, we don't get condemned on the other side. It's all acceptance. If
So are you
someone's stuck
saying that God is forgiving after the fact? After the fact?
we come here to learn lessons.
I
come
love
on,
it.
There's lots of scientific proof
Listen.
of reincarnation. You know, you have the kids that come that talk about their past lives, that there's facts that back it up. Like there's a scientific proof of reincarnation. Like we come here to learn lessons over and over. He had a purpose. He only stayed in the dark because he felt he deserved to be there. So usually when people are in the dark, it's not because they unalive themselves. A lot of people that unalive themselves go to the light. They just break their contract early.
Oh, break the contract. Oh, I love it. Listen to me. You must be getting into a lot of maybe friendly arguments. Like you think it's friendly arguments. People who are into, like, let's go with born again Christians. I don't know. I just picked that one. Please don't throw arrows. You must, because that's so conflicting with how they view not only the afterlife but even the whole ghost situation. Have you ever had a situation where you got scolded? Like, how dare you? Or like
that's a bunch of bull hockey. Like that was all written by man. Like you don't have to be. We're here to learn lessons. Like no one's good all the time. It's impossible. If that was true, no one would be in heaven. No one would be in heaven. We all drink. We all do stuff. Like there's no freaking way. Like
Jesus,
you can't just go and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. You're forgiven." It doesn't work that way. You're forgiven anyways.
Like, I love it because I agree with you. But you know,
like you made your soul contract to come here and learn lessons, and sometimes we do get off track. But for the most part, we go to the other side. We are here to evolve. That is the whole point of the soul. So that's just what Ted stayed in the dark because he felt he needed to be there. But when people go through their life review, that's the hard thing. So when you go through your life review, imagine how Ted's life review would have been. That is him feeling all the pain that he inflicted on all the victims times 10 and their families. So he's done his time. We can't condemn people anymore for once they go to the other side. He spent time in the dark for many years waiting until he could do something to redeem. He went to the other side. He's good with his victims, so we should be good with him. It's the same way for a lot of people that come here that may have mental illness or addictions, or, you know, because a lot of times people that commit things like this, they're mental ill. You know, and they come here to overcome that. So I think there's different paths they can take, but still they don't, you know, when we go to the other side, we have if there's someone in the dark, it's because they chose to be there. Yeah. And he chose to go to the light and he was all forgiven. Like that's how it is on the other side. It's love, peace. There are a lot of people say, oh, is me and my dad didn't get along while we're here, or while I was here, or is he mad at me, or does he love me? Like, look, there's no negative feelings or emotions on the other side. It's all love. Mm-hmm. It's all known. It's all known over there. So
I wish people would be more resonating with that principle, you know, and with Pack Nation, right? It's peace, action, compassion, and tolerance. And the reason why is because we're not perfect. And you come from a psychism situation. Wrong word, I know, but you get it. But I come from just a regular, but it's very, very similar. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, oh wow, look at that. Like we're not that different. Even though I thought we were so different, but no, we're not.
And I think a lot of us, like, you know, me, Matt Frazier, Teresa Caputo, like all those big mediums, like that was unheard of back in the day, but now they're up because people are awakening and opening up, and we are here to send the message of how it really is.
Yeah.
This is so that people aren't afraid of death and aren't afraid of going. Well, I don't even call it death, like afraid of transition. Like we're not even like, so that we don't have to be, that there is another side, that we do continue. Like energy cannot be destroyed.
Destroyed, only get
We are
converted.
energy.
Correct.
And so we just go
Yeah.
to the other side. We just lose this physical body, but our energy remains, and we have forever. We will forever.
Now I'm a fake gardener. I say that because I plant trees, but
Don't you name them Egyptian
yes,
names?
yes, all my girls, my fruit trees are all girls, and they are sexy. Okay. Mm-mm. So no, it's interesting because
you had a past life in Egypt.
look at that. Welcome.
I actually see you. Oh my gosh, it's so funny because I actually see you. You're walking in the sand. You've got the what are the, I don't know what they call those, where they cover up
The
with
headdress?
He does have that. Yes, he does have that, and he has the long whatever they
Love
wore.
it. I will walk it.
I don't know if
Please,
you were
give me a
walking in the sand
kaftan.
with a camel. Yeah.
Yeah, I will rock that stuff. What? I'm not even opposed to that. I wish I could do that in real life right now.
And like I say, there is no color, there's no sex, anything to our soul. We are different sexes, we are different races, everything. We're all the same. You were white in that life. You were Egyptian, not white, Egyptian, whatever.
No, I see what you mean.
So you know, that's how I see you. I see you.
Love
You
it.
look a little similar, but not completely.
Love
You're just walking like holding the camel. Holding a camel, holding the camel's lead. That's why you kind of like go towards Egypt.
Oh, Bethany, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible.
Can I just tell you one thing? Did I mention that yesterday about the Egypt thing? Did I mention that yesterday,
No.
Beefy?
No, she pulled that right off the rip.
Let me explain to you something, because you're right. Now, I don't know about my past life,
she's
but
making
wait.
a believer out of you.
No, you're looking
that a
scaring
lot.
me a little bit. Slow down 1 second. Let me explain to you. I've always been extremely fascinated with ancient Egypt, to the point where my car is named Anaxinamun. My dog is named Nephthys. My daughter's name was going to be Nefertiti, but my husband was like, what? No. So we settled for Olympia. And a lot of the stuff, because, you know, real life, they don't really like ancient Egypt like that. So I try to squeeze ancient Egypt whenever I can. I have a little room. My meditation room is completely Moroccan style. It's insane. It's
She's
insane.
good.
I can't believe you read
that.
that.
You pulled that from your past life. It's probably one of the recent ones.
Can I make a request?
Those names all probably relate to someone you knew in Egypt.
Wow.
But I see, like, do they have like, what is the thing where like they wear like the
It's a headdress. It's called a headdress.
Do they all have the snakes on them?
They don't all have the snakes. So only royalty wore headdresses. And
are you royalty? You must be royalty then, because I keep seeing the cobra.
Okay, so I am a little bit royalty, but not from Egypt, and it's not that big of a deal. But my family on my father's side is from origin from Africa, but they're from the chieftain line of the tribe. I can't with you. I quit. I'm out. Get out of here.
Sometimes that happens when I'm talking to people. I'll just see stuff. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Well, there's your validation for why you're so obsessed with
that. Is crazy. Am I so loud? Good. No, wow, that's insane. That is insane. That's insane. Okay,
yesterday she was gonna make a believer out of you.
Do beefy. What are you eating? Nuts? No, I'm kidding. I can't believe it. Oh my god.
So I was gonna ask, and no pressure, you can say no, but people,
hey,
everyone,
Beefy, I have a question for you real quick. I know that you say like you have anxiety and stuff, but you are deathly afraid of planes?
No.
You won't get on a plane? Or you will get on a plane?
Yeah, I'll get on a plane. I've flown a lot.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I keep picking up a plane with you, but I didn't know if it was because you were afraid of it or you like to do it. So, or you like to, because some.
Now, okay, wait.
In a while.
I'm going on family vacation this week. Please don't tell me my plane lands properly. Please. I can't breathe.
Planes, yeah, I don't know. I haven't flown in a while.
But is it something you like, right? You're not anxiety towards it? Because there's a reference to a past life and you in a plane, but I don't know if you flew it or we're in a crash. It's one of the two.
Oh God.
Wow.
So that's why I was asking if like you, because I keep just seeing a plane with you, and I think it might have been a crash, but I think. But see, you might not necessarily have that fear of
I'm gonna have anxiety now.
No, it's not. It's not the future. It's not the future. I would never tell anybody you're gonna die in a plane crash. I would never do that. Since we're talking about past lives, that's what it feels like.
Okay.
Huh. So it's almost like I think you were maybe a pilot that the plane went down or something.
Oh crap!
Wow.
But it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. But the thing is that I think that maybe you're not afraid of flying because you still love the flying, but you're over that fear. Like you release that fear when before you came.
Oh, I'm definitely a Rochelle stan. I'll come back anytime she'll have us.
Oh yes, anytime you want us, we'll come back. Oh, by the way, I'm from Cameroon originally. In Cameroon. Oh God, I can't believe it.
But I was gonna ask when I told people I was coming on here, everybody asked me, and again, don't feel pressured. You could say no, but is there any way you could do a reading for Alistair? Like a quick one.
For me? Oh my God! But I think what she did was big enough. Nobody knows about my ancient Egyptian obsession.
You can say no. You can say no.
Because my in-laws are like, Alistair, get away. Like if I could name something Imhotep, it would be named Imhotep. I have ancient Egyptian everywhere. It's a little secret of mine that nobody knows but my family. It's insane that you picked that out. And nobody knows about my little royalty roots except my spouse. Yeah.
You must have do you have like a pull towards like golds too? Like gold and that color?
Yes.
You have a lot of gold in your house?
As a bachelor, I did.
Okay.
But I don't live alone anymore. I'm losing a lot of the battles. Yeah. New life. No, somebody else has an opinion now. Yeah, but me, so I'm losing a lot of battles.
I saw a lot of gold, and so I was like, man, he must kind of.
One of my favorite colors is yellow and gold and black. Yeah. Oh my God.
Interesting.
Am I that obvious? I can't be that obvious, can I? What am I wearing? Oh, well, silver. No, I'm not.
Well, I mean, we still have to talk about other things first. We'll see. Because like she's saying, my readings are never short, and it depends on the kind of reading you want.
No. I think what you just did is pretty scary.
No pressure.
Cool.
Pretty scary.
Is it Ted? Did Ted Bundy Ted? What did I tell you? Called Jeffrey. Did Ted tell you all this? Ted.
No, I don't know. I just get it sometimes. Like
I have one daughter, Olympia, and somebody else says, "Thank you so much. You think we're cool? Can I? Let me do a quick plug-in because we are shameless. I am shameless.
Make sure you go and subscribe.
Yeah, listen to me.
We're trying to get to 1,000 subs over there.
That would be awesome. Get a few subs out of this.
Biffy, you have the information in the description, right?
Well, it's her channel, so she'd have to put it up there. But
I copied your whatever you sent me yesterday in the description, so it is.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So if you go to the description, you have a link to where our channels are. So a little just disclaimer: we talk about anything and everything. Please have an open mind because we are filthy in a polite way. We are filthy in a very polite way and talk about anything, but we mainly speak about true crime. And Beefy has an awesome ability to tell you a story where you can just close your eyes and you can visualize it. It's quite scary because he talks about these murderers.
Oh, thank
you. There, so you just like freak out a little bit. And for some reason, all these murderers and the victims have good hair. Can we please pick someone who's bald? No, I'm tired of having good hair. It's enough. Because
I don't know.
It's enough of the good hair.
Madeline Kingsbury ex is bald.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, all this.
That's what I was trying to think of yesterday. I gotta pour some water in this.
Yeah, is that your fish? You said?
Yeah, it's my fish. No, it's my little personal air conditioner that I got.
You have dogs, cats, fish, birds. Look at that.
No, I don't have fish. It's just my air conditioner.
Okay. It was a joke.
My personal little air conditioner. I already spilled water all over everything earlier.
It went over my head.
But, no, so I mean, I think we wanted to get into Idaho, right? That's something we haven't talked about.
The Idaho 4, not Kohlberger. Yeah. Is it still Kohlberger?
Oh, yeah.
No, I think I've asked all the questions about Kohlberger.
Yeah. but not on here.
Oh,
We haven't talked about this yet. That was going to be part of it, I thought.
Can you please remind me? Because I ran through all the notes I put. And
we put it in the description. We were going to talk about Idaho 4, and we haven't done that yet.
I thought Idaho 4 was Kohlberger.
Yeah, I thought we talked about that.
But we didn't like discuss the case or.
Okay, no problem. Let's dive into it anyway, because I think, okay, first of all, listen, we all know the story about how he not only stalked the house, and he was very Ted Bundy-esque. I'm sure Ted Bundy's really pissed about that, jealous much. But look,
no, he said that he wasn't as good as him. You got watch that reading.
So Ted Bundy has been shady. Ted. Anyway, but the thing that really gets me with Kohlberger is that he has the audacity to think that even though you're innocent in this country to proven guilty, there's DNA. Like, he left DNA. It's almost like he did it on purpose. It's almost like he was like, you know what? I'm smart enough to evade anything. Let me just leave the knife sheath there and let them find me, because I won't be famous.
He's testing the system, I think.
Oh my God! Didn't I call it?
Because a lot of the ones that, like OJ, got off on technicalities. What's her face? Kaylee Anthony.
Her.
You know, they are kind of talking about how, because they were so public, is why they got off. I think he's testing the system. I think he's testing what he can do because he studied criminal justice. But I think that the evidence that they have against him is so much when you put it all together.
Yeah.
I did an Into the Mind reading about the outcome of this. It's the same outcome as Ted Bundy without the electric chair.
Whoa! Ooh. So he's not getting the death penalty. Can I tell you something? Because they want to give that to him.
Yeah, I know they do.
And
they have to. It checks all the boxes for Idaho.
And they want to give it to him so bad that well, you know what? He just hired a new lawyer who is she's a top defender for people that are facing death penalty, and she's very good at getting people out of death penalty. I looked into her rap sheet. Very expensive, by the way. Yeah, tax dollars, but she is very good at getting people not to be killed, and
that's why he has her.
I suspect that the reason why she's good at making people not being deleted is because it's too expensive to get them alive on death row. So I think the government is like, oh my God, you cost too much money. Let's save some money and give him the life situation. And also, I do think that life, it's a much bigger punishment.
I do too, because death is a release, but I still get the but he'll be in there for a while before anything happens. But they were still they kept showing me in that reading, they kept flipping me back and forth between Ted and him in the courtroom. Like there'll be similarities or something. Yeah. So.
Oh, Ted is not happy about that.
He doesn't care. No, he's like, he doesn't care. He already said that he wasn't as good looking as him. He's a jacked up Ted. And
okay.
He also said that, you know, he wasn't as good as him because he get away with it. Like he wasn't going to get away with it. I mean, he already said he was going to get caught, and he got caught. He wanted to be, but he's not. You know.
By the way, I'm skittish by nature, so Ted, don't come here because I will freak out and scream. And no, what is that? Something moved. No, I'm skittish, but probably why I would be a bad psychic, because I'm afraid of everything. I'm afraid of everything, and
there's no need to be afraid of everything, though. I mean, if you think about it, spirit's just us with a body. I mean, spirit's just us without a body. You know, that's it.
Wow. Now, what do you think about the gag order they put in with the media? This is why I never understood that gag order, because, okay, fine, evidence needs to be protected, but aren't all evidences protected anyway? I didn't understand the gag order. What was, if you had a reading on that, what was the point of the courts doing that?
Doing what?
Putting the gag order on, like, stopping all information from moving about.
Oh, because like I think what we just talked about. You mean the gag? The gag order?
The gag order.
I think it comes down to, like I was just saying, how OJ got off and Kaylee Anthony got off. Those were all really public cases.
Okay.
I think they're trying to stop that, and they want it to be like, you know, they want to make sure he's not going to get off.
Now, do you think that one of the victims fought back.
I do. Yeah.
Why did you? Okay, before I ask the question, did you get any reading from the victims at all?
Oh yeah, I did each victim.
Okay.
That doesn't
Now-
mean the other ones didn't come in, but I did. I focused on each.
Now I'm interested in the one that fought back, because if she fought back, that means she's a fairy spirit. Like, she's like, oh no, you're gonna fight for this kill. What has she said to you? What has she revealed? If she said anything?
I don't know because I don't remember my readings.
Oh, I see.
But it feels like they all woke up at a point and tried to, fight.
wow.
Like you would if someone's on top of you. That's kind of the feeling I got. Is I always felt like I was being straddled.
And what about DM, the survivor who saw him?
I mean, I think she didn't think of anything at the
Yeah, she
time,
was
and then
just in
I think
shock.
she's kind of like in shock. Yeah, it's come across that she had mental things, and maybe she thought it was I mean, who knows? Maybe she was high. Maybe she thought it was like her imagination.
Yeah, I mean, they're college kids. I mean,
Yeah.
we've all been to college and we've done stupid things, and we all survived to talk about it. Thank God.
Yeah.
Right.
I just think that a lot of people are judgmental, but they weren't in that situation, so they can't judge it.
Yeah. 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 Except, sorry, I didn't mean to scream. Except the fact that when something is so blatantly obvious, like DNA sheath, I mean, for God darn sake.
But I think
Yeah,
they're gonna
it's-
end up throwing that out. I hope not. But
How?
because of the way that it was tested,
I don't
they're
care.
gonna-
What do you mean, how?
I know, but they don't even need that. Honestly, they have enough evidence. They don't.
Yeah,
need
I
that.
that's
hope
true.
so. Oh, I cannot wait for the case. I hope so, because it's like saying, "Oh my God, look at that, Alistair, your phone."
When you
is
pile
there.
everything they have together, there's literally
Yeah.
not really any reasonable doubt.
They have him dead to rights,
They do.
flat out.
Good.
I mean, they've even got the downstairs roommate that saw him in the house after he attacked them.
Yeah.
But he had a mask on, which is what I keep
Oh.
getting. So that's going to be hard to tell that. But the thing
True.
is what they have him stalking. They have, I think,
His geolocation
possibilities.
with his phone. They have
have
the
his
DNA.
location.
They have
They
his
have-
sheath.
Yep, he pinged onto that Bluetooth or whatever it was.
Yeah.
They have I mean,
Stupid
we don't know
phone.
all that they have, right? Because they don't have everything out. But
Yeah.
and they can't do that because it will mess up the case. But in my opinion, I think they have, exactly what Jen's saying. I think they have way more than we know. And like if he bought it off of Amazon, they got that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that when you put all of the evidence together, like
Yeah.
there's literally no one else it could be.
No one else it could be. Even when they
He
did
stalked
the
them
search,
online. They have all
Yeah.
that,
stalked them online.
and I think even one of the readings I said that he was looking at Maddie's Instagram pictures and like liking
wow.
them or something like that, and that was actually came up that they do have proof that he was looking at Maddie's
wow.
pictures. Yeah. So that was on Instagram. He was stalking them on social media. They have that. Yeah, that all came in the readings too.
They have a lot more evidence than that, and that's just what we've.
That's just what we know. They're not gonna show
Release
their hand.
everything. Yeah,
They're not
that's
gonna
why I
show
never
their
understood
hand.
the gag order, because they're never going to tell us.
Not
tell you
only
what they
that,
have.
but they can't get a good conviction if they show everything they got.
Yeah, they can't get a good.
You guys are
conviction.
good. Everybody's good. Just like all the other cases we've seen recently with Lori Vallow and all that. Like
Yeah.
we didn't know all that information.
Lori Vallow. Oh,
Yeah,
honey.
that
I didn't
trial
work
is
that
going to be
case.
awesome.
I
Now
didn't work that case.
you didn't work that case. I don't.
No.
I you know what?
I was in the process of moving. I didn't work it.
Oh, you were too busy. Oh
or
my
something.
God. This
I either
girl
had
is a
surgery or
lunatic.
it was just like bad timing. I didn't.
That
work
woman,
it.
scary.
We're getting a lot of requests in the chat. Have you gotten anything on Sarah Boone?
I
Oh,
haven't
Sarah
even
Boone.
heard-
I like
haven't
Sarah
even-
Boone. I mean,
haven't
I don't
heard
like
of
her
that.
like that, but I think she's completely.
I wonder if that's the
ridiculous.
movie. There was like a Lifetime movie or something I watched. Is that the one that put her husband in the suitcase or something like that?
Yes.
Boyfriend, yeah. They're gonna like that movie. Oh my God.
They
I
have
gotta
a
go watch it.
movie.
What? I gotta
they said
watch
she
that.
didn't
I gotta
do
watch
it.
it.
Yeah, I forget what it's freaking called, but it's on Lifetime.
Alistair, we
popped up-
should do a live stream viewing
should
of
do a
the
live stream
Lifetime,
to watch
the
that
Sarah
stupid
Boone movie.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's who it's about.
that lady is a mess.
I've never
man.
done a reading on it, but
Complete
I mean,
mess.
I've seen the movie, so I probably wouldn't.
Mm.
I try not to work anything I know too much about. That's like I try to stay away from serial killer cases and all of that because
Yeah.
it taints the reading. I don't like to know anything.
Yeah.
So if I'm ever going to work on a case, I won't watch it. Like, if I only did the Murdaugh because people wouldn't shut up about it, but it was all over. Like, I don't sit and watch trials. A lot of the stuff I got was in the trial, and people were coming back to me, oh, you must be watching the trial. And it's like, I'm not going to sit there and watch trial. Like, I don't have time to do that. Yeah. And if I'm going to do a reading on it, like, I won't do it,
Oh my God. I'm a little bit low-key jealous of you because I have to watch it.
Well, I will after. I will afterwards, but I
gotta watch. It's great.
I literally try to live under a rock.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
well, it's probably good that the less influence you get from outside sources, the cleaner you can keep your readings, I assume.
Exactly. And that's why I try to do it. That's why I tell people, like, they're like, you must have researched this. You got facts. I'm like, they're going to give me facts. Like, it doesn't mean I sat and researched. And when you're doing a reading, who can think of everything that you researched? Like, I don't have that kind of memory. Shoot, I can't remember what I freaking did yesterday. I'm not gonna wrap off like Google.
I am completely mesmerized at Ted Bundy. I'm sorry if I fixated on that. Yeah, who needs fact when you have Ted Bundy? Hi, Ted. Can't.
You know what? If Ted Bundy can get into heaven, it gives us hope for all of us.
No.
I mean, like I said, it took him, and we don't get judged. We're not judged like we're always told.
Thank you.
That's a really beautiful thought too. That I mean, as much as I don't want to go out and put the idea out there that serial killers can get into heaven, but the idea that no matter what we do in our lives, we can still repent, and it doesn't matter what kind of mistakes we made, we still get a second chance. That's a great notion, and
also, Rochelle, to feed on what Beefy said, and Beefy, that also I say that all the time, is that even if you're the most horrible person in the world, you have a network that relies on you. Someone somewhere relies on you for something. So there's value even at the shittiest human being. There's value there.
Yeah, and it's also very like stressful. It's like I can't be wrong. I don't know. That's my biggest fear is like I'm gonna blow something and be completely wrong about something, and then everybody's gonna like, oh, like they did Sylvia Brown. Like, she was wrong one time, and they she'll never live that down.
What do you do to relax? Like. Do you go on vacation? Well, can you relax? Because it's not like you could go on vacation because Ted won't leave you alone. I'm always
working, literally.
So, Ted, leave me alone. I'm relaxing. No, but what do you do? Like,
he's like on vacation with her. She's like got the feet up in the sun, and he's there in his little swim trunks.
I don't think I have not had a vacation in a long time because I have animals. There's no leaving the animals.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But that's okay because I just, I relax with them, and one day maybe I won't have as many animals and I can go, but for now I just kind of kick it, watch TV, chat with my friends, like
watching TV.
And actually making like the keychains and necklaces I make is kind of meditative, but I started getting spirit when I started doing that now. So now that's draining.
Wow.
It was Spirit's idea. Like I just started making like keychains and necklaces, but then all of a sudden I started intuitively making them for people and they'd make sense. And now when I do it, like if I look at a picture, I can bring in Spirit and they can make it for their loved ones. So it gets kind of draining now where it wasn't before. And, but it's at the same time, it's meditative, I guess, because I'm not talking to anybody about it. But yeah, I'm constantly working.
Wow.
Constantly working. Yeah, Bethany's like, I definitely don't watch the royal history because I did like a reading on Princess Di on my Patreon and I didn't know shit. I'm like, wait, who's the king? What?
Sorry for
his name's Charles, right?
Oh wow.
Have you ever had an experience where you're giving a reading to somebody like a client or whatever, and you get it wrong? And if so, how do you handle that? Like, what do you say to them? And, how do you like more or less explain to them, that, hey, this isn't 100% foolproof. You know what I mean? This isn't science.
So when it comes to like mediumship readings are, knock on wood, never wrong. Spirit's never wrong. I might misinterpret the information. It might mean something different than what I think it means to the sitter. Or it might be someone else's coming. And I've had times where I'm like rapping off stuff about someone and they're like, nope, that doesn't click. No, that's not matching this person. That's not matching this person. That's not. And I'm like, wait, but do you have somebody else on the other side that this matches? And it's like, oh, wait a second. oh yeah. And then it's like, okay, all that matches this other person. So it's really like they're not able to validate it because they don't remember. They're not realizing that it's, and I always tell people that before I do reading, like sometimes someone else will come in and block the energy. And until you validate who that person is, I can't go on.
Wow.
Like I literally had that happen. I was trying to connect to this girl's dad and the grandpa came in and she didn't really know the grandpa. And it was like she couldn't connect anything to that. I was so frustrated. But until she said, oh yeah, that's my grandpa. He didn't go away.
And then all of a sudden everything started to click.
And then I was able to get to the dad and give her some information. And so I went like 30 minutes over the reading because I felt bad because I know she wanted to hear from her dad, but her grandpa was interfering. So sometimes that happens, but knock on wood, I'm never wrong. It just, I might misinterpret or you're not realizing it when it comes to, like everything always clicks something. You know what I mean? Like my readings are usually they're always accurate. Thank God. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Thank you, Spirit.
Thanks,
When it comes to like intuitive guidance or a psychic thing, I always tell people like what I tell you is not written in stone. A lot of my predictions do happen, but you guys have the free will to make other choices and decisions. So if it doesn't happen, that's not my problem. I'm shown what the most likely possibility is, and a lot of times it does happen, but sometimes people take other routes. Like we have one main path and many different routes we can choose.
Of course.
And sometimes like the timeline shift and it just happens later in life. You know?
Yeah. So maybe Beefy, you might not get the airplane scare now, but you might get it in a few years.
Well, she said it was in the past.
I think it's a past life. I would never I would never like try, like you don't predict people's passing. You don't predict those things. There are warnings that come in, but you got to be very careful because you don't want someone thinking, oh my God, I'm never getting on a plane again. Never getting in a car again. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die by I'm 30. Like you don't do that to people. That's just unethical. Anybody that tells you, you know, you're going to pass at this time or don't listen to them.
Oh my God,
No, I don't, Shaw. I was wrong on your baby gender, but my baby gender is about 80%. Or not 80, 98%, sorry.
Well, that's pretty good because you have 50% chance to get it wrong. That's good. That's good numbers.
No, but I predict them before they're ever pregnant.
Oh,
that's crazy.
I had someone, I'll tell you a story. So I have this client and her mom kept coming in and she kept holding a baby boy. And I said, are you wanting any more kids? And she's like, no, I don't want any more kids. Like, I'm done having kids. No way, no way, no way. Right. So this happened twice in her readings. Both times mom was adamant she was going to have a boy. And she's like, no, I'm done. 2 months ago, she comes to me and she's like,
I'm pregnant.
Remember when you told me I was going to be pregnant? Well, I'm pregnant. And then she goes and she's like, guess what? It's a boy. And so I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, I just kind of took it as a gift and I went with it because and she had taken the day after pill. Like what's meant to be will always be.
Oh, crap.
Baby came anyways, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's a very anchored baby. No, I'm not leaving. You're having this baby.
You know, Spirit loves to show me babies. Idaho 4, you know, I think it was Maddie told me her sister was going to be pregnant. Which we didn't know at the time, and she was going to have a girl, and she had a girl, and I said she was going to carry the name of both of them, what she did, the way that they did it. Of course, I don't think they realized the first name on that is a female version of Theodore, but
is it?
Yes.
I didn't even know that. Look at me learning.
Whatever she named her daughter, she is Theodora.
Oh. Wow.
I don't think people realized it, and I was like, I don't want to say anything, but she did. You know, the middle name was named after Maddie and Kaylee. Or no, it was Kaylee's. Sorry, I keep getting them confused. It was Kaylee's sister. My bad. They're like sisters themselves, so it was like it was Kaylee's sister that had a baby. So sorry about the misinformation on that. Wrong one.
Either way, listen. This is why I'm so glad. In our case, no, there's no oopses. Definitely not getting pregnant again. This is great. No, I always laugh.
If it's not them, it's like someone in their family.
It's someone in the family, yeah. Oh, pregnancy.
Spirit loves to show babies, though. I don't know what it is. They just love it.
My sister-in-law did that 3 times. Oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, it's such a good laughter. Look, pregnancies are great, and every time she gets pregnant, it's such a happy moment, but we always like, haha, she's not getting pregnant anymore. But it was just so funny. It's like, Mom, I'm pregnant, and we're like, congratulations. He's like, no, I didn't want to be pregnant. No, in the moment, it's like, I don't understand.
Like I've had people that tell me like they're never gonna get pregnant, or they're having a hard time getting pregnant, and it's like, look, if you're having a hard time, let go of the control of it. But once you let go of the control of it, it will happen. If it's meant to happen, it will happen. That's just the way it is. You got to let go of the control, and that goes for anything in your life: relationships, pregnancies, anything. Let go of the control.
Yeah.
Give it up to the universe. I promise you, the energy will shift, and what you want will come to you. But when we try to control it, we stuck the energy.
Yeah. I want to Detective Wobblifer, you say something that's actually, thank you, because that's a great question. Why do you think he saved the survivors? Why do you think he didn't finish the job if he's so like, I'm the best killer ever?
I've always wondered that. Why did he leave the two girls downstairs alive?
Do you think
Somebody said that they were locked in a room? Someone said that the door was locked.
No.
I think it was, and I think he gave himself a certain amount of time to get in and out, and I think he only had those 4 victims in mind for whatever reason. It was targeted.
Yeah, it was targeted.
Yeah, but I also heard that the door was locked for Bethany's room or something.
I think, because killing someone, not that I've done it, I'm sure I can hide it here, right? But killing someone is messy. I mean, if you look at Chandler Halderson, killing someone is a lot of blood, a lot of fighting, a lot of scratching. It's a lot of puffing. He must have been like, wow, I did 2. Oh my God, I got 2 more. No, I can't. He's probably just like, I'm out. Thanks.
I mean, you got to think about the actual logistics of that crime too. He fought basically both of them while they were in bed.
He was like, "Oh, my back, my legs, my arms. I'm gonna go home." Yeah.
The roommate downstairs said that she heard him basically follow the girl on the second floor to the bathroom, saying like, "Oh no, it's okay. I'm gonna help you." So he's basically wrangling around with these 2 girls while I mean, you got to think about trying to stab 2 people in bed. That is a task unto itself.
Yeah,
how do you control them?
I did not know that about the bathroom, because I kept pulling the bathroom in one of my readings, and I couldn't figure out why I was pulling the bathroom with Zana.
He basically chased her into the bathroom.
I did not know that.
He did.
The downstairs roommate said that she heard from the upstairs floor, she heard him saying, it's okay, I'm gonna help you, as he's chasing her into the bathroom, and ends up murdering her. It's absolutely bone-chilling if you get into the details of that case. When you say that the door was locked, one of the downstairs roommates actually came upstairs when she heard all the commotion, and like we were talking about earlier, when he walks past her, she was basically frozen in fear, and they locked eyes. So why he left her alone? Why would you leave a witness? It really doesn't make any sense.
No, he didn't see her.
She couldn't see him anyways. Like, he had on full, like, I kept getting a mask, full gear. Like, he
did have a mask on. That's true.
And, and I just don't think this was targeted on them. They're all friends.
Yeah.
I think the other 2 are not as close as they all 4 were. I think it was targeted on them. And as far as doing it alone, there's lots of serial killers that do it alone. Ted did alone.
Yeah, Ted had a good amount
of victims. Was having fun. So it was almost like, that's why when I heard about it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is almost like the sorority.
Oh, do you remember that? Oh my God.
That was what, when this happened, that was my first thought, was Ted in the sorority house.
Oh, Ted
went after 4 victims, but 2 survived, but he still went after 4.
Wow. I never made that connection before. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's when I first heard about it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like that's I was the first one that said Ted Bundy, and then you start hearing Nancy Grace say it and everybody, and I'm like, oh geez. Like, we said that. We said that in the very beginning.
Didn't Bundy get out of police custody and go murder a bunch of sorority girls?
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Is he did that after he escaped.
Yeah.
He went into the sorority house. Yeah. He attacked 4. But 2 survived, which I'm sure he didn't know that when he left, that they were still alive.
Yeah.
But 2 survived, but he attacked 4. So it's basically almost a replica of the thing.
Yeah. What happened to Kohlberger's knife? That's a good question.
I don't know. I tried to find it. I found the IDs. I knew that he had them in a box in the parents' house.
Okay, you better tell me. Mm-hmm.
Well, if you watch the Into the Mind, I talk about there being something in a box in the parents' house.
Crazy.
Oh,
Of his.
makes total sense. Let me tell you something. Mom and Dad, I believe they know. Darling, Brian, why are you here so early? Hi, Mom. Why are you all dressed in black? And the tarp. Come on, man, Mom and Dad. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, Olympia, what are you wearing? And why are you dressed up
Well,
like
he
a
didn't
criminal?
show up there like that. He rode across country with his dad in normal stuff.
I was being
Yeah,
dramatic. No,
I was gonna say.
I was being dramatic. Of
Dramatic.
course.
Okay.
Of course he didn't show up like that. But still, like he had a full-blown tarp. The FBI was saying like he was cleaning. Look, the FBI was like,
if I can't find the knife, they will send me to other evidence that is helpful. So the other evidence would be like the ID or whatever else. I kept getting the parents' house, but I also got like a bridge over water, which he did go.
yeah.
It's weird because I got a name and it ended up that was the name of the Kate's. I got Kate. That's the name of the coffee shop he went to. Well, there's a bridge that goes over water there. And so I was pulling that up, but recently I'm just wondering about like a quarry or something like that. But I still get the parents' house. Like, I think he took stuff with him to the parents' house, like stuff that he had in the, like he had
In the
from
car.
the crime or with the crime, which makes sense because he was putting stuff in bags and throwing it in the trash.
And threw it in the
also
trash.
Yeah. So I think he took, like, he didn't think he was coming back, and he took the stuff with him to his parents' house. So
Yeah.
that's why they got what they got out of the parents' house.
But you know, even in the search warrant, if you look at the search
they don't
warrant,
need the knife though.
they don't need the knife, but they did see a lot of his purchases was locked inside the house, right? It was locked in a lock and key, and it was like, who puts black gloves, not ropes, but you know what I mean? Who puts like vacuum in a locked drawer? Like, who do you put your vacuum behind an armoire with a padlock?
No, but I'm not OCD. He's OCD.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird.
Which is what they kept showing me, like when they showed me his closet. They kept talking about something at the top of the closet too, like in a box. You know how we have those shelves in the closet?
Yeah.
I don't know if he took it with him.
That's
but
where the key was. That's the key of the lock. So that's why the police was like, the key is right there, but the dresser is locked. That's so odd. Like, you lock your dresser for security reasons, right? So you don't put the key right next to the lock. So it was like, nah, what's inside?
Yeah.
And that's why I got her to say, let me open this, because the key was right there next to the lock. There was no sense of like security. And then she opened it. She was like, oh, what is that? A vacuum with hair? So, oh, interesting. A vacuum in a locked dresser.
Yeah.
No, the prosecution is gonna like checkmate the hell out of him. I can't.
Yeah, I think, like I said, there's stuff that people don't know. I don't even know if they're gonna allow cameras in the courtroom, honestly.
That's going to be a great trial.
Well, he asked that, and I think the judge was like, "The hell with you! I don't have to answer anything that you ask." No, I think the judge denied that mess.
Okay, I don't know. Like I said, I only keep up a little bit with it.
If they do the same thing as they did with the Larry Vallow situation, because I would have loved to see this trial, I'd be very upset. I'd be like, "Come on, tax dollars! I pay too much taxes. Let me see what you tried. What are you doing over there? Open the door!" Like, I would be.
Same thing with Delphi. I really want to see that trial.
Let me see.
Didn't they just?
He's another one that's like, he wants the jury and stuff to feel sorry for him, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does. Don't they all? You know, I wonder if he didn't
think he was gonna get caught.
Yeah, at the end of the tunnel, I would love to see. I would love to see like if they have like the regret in their mind. I would have loved to be a mind reader when they're sitting in that chair facing.
Psychopaths they don't. And that's the one thing Ted told me right away. I'd never gotten that vision before, but it was electricity in the brain to tell me it was wired differently, or now that's my sign for sociopath. So he's a psychopath, but he doesn't. There's no remorse.
Yeah, I think Kohlberger is a psychopath as well.
Yeah, there's no remorse. And if you notice, like his it's okay. So the difference between him and Bundy is, yes, Bundy was more charming and stuff like that. Like, he was really charming. Kohlberger, if you notice, he has like no expressions on his face. Like, his face does not
Kohlberger doesn't give
any type of expression at all.
No,
it's just the same all the time.
It's so
odd.
And he looks well rested.
Yeah.
And like,
I think he thinks he's gonna get off. I think he thinks he's gonna play the system, and it's almost like he wasn't worried about getting caught.
No, he wasn't worried at all.
He thought that arrogance, like he was smart enough. Like, have you seen where he had the traffic stop where he got pulled over and he's literally trying to like like know more than the cop. I think that it's like that kind of situation. Like he has that kind of arrogance about him.
He even instructed his defense team to make the statement. I was like, who does that? Like, no,
that's why I said there's going to be similarities with Ted and him, because even though he's not his own lawyer, I feel like he's trying to be one in a way.
Yeah.
Even though he's not, you know, just like
just like to waste tax dollars. Although, like Detective Wobbuffet said, what about Daryl Brooks? You know, Daryl Brooks is a monster. So, did you get anything from Daryl? Any reading from Daryl?
What is that one?
Love it!
Oh, man. God love you. You don't know. You're living such a better life not being exposed to Daryl Brooks. Thank God. Yeah, right?
Daryl is so insignificant that Rochelle is like, no, I'm not getting anything. Well, Daryl
I don't know who it is.
So he's the monster. He's a human being, but he's a terrible murderer who took his car and drove through the Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and he killed.
Was that last year?
That was 2 years ago now, right?
2021, yeah, 2 years, yeah.
2 years from now, and he killed that 10-year-old boy, Jordan Spark. And the way the boy was killed, he was pretty much decapitated internally from the car. The car looked like it was squished, but that was human bodies. And not only did he run through the parade, but he paused, knocked off the body off the car, and continued driving through the people. Like, it was completely horrendous. And then
I never even heard about that.
Like,
he drove through a Christmas parade. Yeah.
And the reason why he got out the car is because the car got so damaged he couldn't drive anymore. So he gets out the car and starts running around.
I think he was. I think he was just like, he didn't care. It's something he could do. He just did it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong there for sure.
And I almost get like a mental break. Like, I'm just gonna do this one day. Like,
mental break is a really, really good way to describe it. He had a fight with his girlfriend and then just like completely unhinged.
That's what I kind of get, is like there's like a mental break where it's like I take what I feel on everybody else.
Wow, that's crazy. That describes him to a T. It's like he thinks that he's almost entitled to drive through that Christmas parade.
Yeah,
that is Daryl Brooks.
Yeah.
You're good.
Even during the case, he felt entitled. In the case, he was kind of like, why am I here? Like, I'm innocent. It's not my fault. It's her fault for making me mad.
Yeah, she's the reason why. Typical narcissist. It's everybody else's fault but their own. Right?
Wow, she even called out the narcissist thing. Man, this is legit, man. I'm not like a real psychic believer, but I have come full circle on this. Like,
I like to turn skeptic. I like to turn skeptic. I do. I love it.
I have no more props.
I mean, like I said, I still have a lot of skeptics come to my channel, but it's like, if you really watch what I get and you really watch me, you can't be a skeptic. Like, there comes a certain point where you have to just be like, okay, well, how the freak did she get that? Like, a year ago.
Yeah. I saw your 10-minute intro video where it goes through, like I said, all your, and I couldn't, like, I was literally sitting there with my jaw, like the little kid that they found, you called that, it's for anybody that might be coming from me or Alistaire's channel, watch her newest upload, and you put it into a lot of your uploads, right? The 10-minute
Yeah, it's an intro for like new people so that they don't like be like, oh, this is fake. Like,
for anybody that might be a skeptic out there, watch her intro that shows it's absolutely astonishing what she's been able to call out ahead of time. It'll definitely.
Quentin, I got that name in a landfill 2 years before. I don't even think he was born yet.
Wow.
Before that ever happened, that came in Stephanie Parze, and it was before he was ever born.
Wow. And then same thing with and the little kid that they found in the trash too, right? Like, you saw the twisting of the trash bag.
Yep. Yeah. I got Quentin in a trash, and I was like, this does not go with the reading I'm doing. I don't know where it's gonna fit, but it fit later. It fit like a couple years later. Yeah. And I didn't know that. What happened was, I didn't even remember I got that. So I was working the Quentin case, and I was they were basically telling me it was in the trash, but my mind was struggling with it. You know, like, that's too obvious. Like, what the, I do that sometimes. Like, she's not that stupid. And she is, obviously, but that's what I think, And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a validation video of some of the cases that I did. So Stephanie Parze was a really good one. So I was listening to it, and I was like, I heard Quentin in landfill. I was like, OMG. It was almost like Spirit made me watch that video to let me know I got it, because I didn't know. And I was like, whoa. And it was right in the middle of Quentin's. It was right in the middle of Quentin's case. So it was like, man.
Wow.
So I even get mind blown, but it was almost like a validation. I was like, oh yeah, okay, fine, he's in the trash. I even emailed the police, and I told them, because I was being told he was going to be found, and it's 5% chance, 5% chance of him being found. I emailed the police department, and I was working with someone that was at the landfill, and I was telling her stuff I was getting and where to look and stuff like that.
What was the reaction?
She was fine because she'd watched my channel and my videos. So we were kind of working silently together. And she was telling the police, like, she was like the head of the landfill. And I actually contacted I sent an email. They never responded, but I told them, I said, keep looking for him. You are going to find him. Do not give up. And I even got a date, but I thought it was that month, but it was the next month. It was like the 20th or 18th or something like that, the day that he was actually found, but it was either the day he was found or the day they announced it. I think it was the day they announced it. But I told him, I said, keep looking because you're going to find him. And 5% chance, and they found him. I knew it because Spirit told me they were going to. You know, it was one of those things, like, if they tell me someone's going to be arrested or they tell me someone's going to be found, then I know it's going to happen. It usually does. But sometimes they don't give that information. You know, but sometimes.
Have you ever made any premonitions in your own life? Like, you get just like a notion about something, and then you don't even really know what it means, and then all of a sudden, just that's what that meant.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of the only thing I can think of right now. So I kept getting a vision of an orange cat, and I was like, why the hell am I getting a vision of an orange cat, right? So I'm like, am I supposed to get an orange cat? Like, what's going on with this? I don't understand it. It was like an orange tabby. Like I kid you not, like 4 weeks later, I found an orange kitten.
No way.
Yeah, and I ended up, it was right after the Delphi thing happened, and it was a female, which is very rare. And I named her Libby, from Libby and Alan, because I found her right after they arrested Alan. It was just really weird. I was like, oh my gosh, they told me I was gonna find this kitten, and she was like 2 weeks old at the time.
Aww.
And so I don't even think she was born yet. And you know, I kind of raised her up, and she's here. So
is that the cat that I see come on your screen once in a while?
Huh?
Is that the cat that we see come on your screen once in a
the
while?
Orange one? No, that's Neo. He's my black. He's always here. He's like my magnet cat.
Oh, he's a cat daddy.
Yeah, he I don't know. Every time I sit over, he's got to come lay on he's here right now laying on the table. I don't know.
All right.
But what a lot of people don't know is that cats work the astral, so they protect spirit energy. So I noticed that sometimes when I'm doing readings, like for instance, in Quentin's reading, I was literally looking at the landfill, and one of my cats was over here pawing my shoulder. Like, yes. And he wouldn't leave me alone until I was like done with the reading. But I mean, they work on the astral plane, so they will follow a bad spirit through your house and find out why it's there. Or the dogs work on the physical plane to where, you know, some dogs can see astrally though, because I have a dog that does, but and they always sense energy and stuff, and they can see, but they work more physically, where cats work astrally. So if you are a psychic medium or somebody like that, or you need the spiritual protection, it's always good to have cats. And they protected in Egypt. You probably had a cat.
So unfortunately, I'm allergic to cats. But
you probably did back in the day, and they were usually like sphinxes or something like that, which are naked.
You hit another nail. You hit another nail on this stupid coughing sarcophagus, because yeah, because
just get the allergy shot. I mean,
but no, I have them pretty severe. It's pretty severe. Yeah. But no, I was a cat person. I had over 12 cats. And then all of a sudden I had allergies, and that's what made me shift to dogs.
That's so crazy, because mine was the opposite. Like, I was allergic to cats. I was around cats and it went away.
Oh, no, honey. No, I literally legit die in the corner for the cat nearby. I'm like, is that a cat?
What about the naked cats? What about the sphinxes?
Oh, yeah. You can have one of those.
Oh, the hairless cats. But you know what?
Yeah.
That came way after. You know, I mean,
well, they have them now.
I could have them now, but you know, with a brand new baby, honey.
No, we're like each other. You like cats like that. I don't know about that many cats.
yeah. I like cats was my favorite. I didn't like dogs that much until I was like, wow, I can't handle these cats, so I went to dogs. But no, with a 1-year-old, please. I don't need any more animals. It's a
Yeah,
lot
you
of
got
work.
enough on your plate.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got enough on my plate, and traveling is hard. We go on vacation, family vacation, and the baby you can pick up and go anywhere. But what I do with the dog? Thank God someone is going to come and take the dog for us for a week. But
Yeah. But cats are more independent. You just leave out food and water. They go in the litter box. Have someone come feed them a couple days a week. But yeah,
I don't like doing that. Do you know why? Because I believe that animals get bored. So I'm the animal owner who entertain my dog, please.
Yeah.
Play with the dog.
I put the TV on for my dogs when I leave.
Don't let the TV. They get bored. Entertain it. Oh, time for a walk. Don't just walk it. Throw the ball. Roll around. Pet it. Do something. I am that one of those pet owners where I'm like, doing the bare minimum is not enough. That animal needs interaction and stimulation. I'm annoying. I know.
No, you're
my
kind
cats are very
giving soul.
independent, and they use each other really. Honestly.
So, Rochelle, we have a recurring bit at the end of our show every week that we call the final thought, and typically either Alistaire or I do it. But do you have just a final message to give our viewers or your viewers, some parting words of wisdom to take with them as they go out about in their lives this week?
So I like to always tell people be kind. You never know what someone's going through in their life. Yes, be kind, because you what you put out, you will get back.
Yeah,
and that goes the same thing with you're donating to someone, it will come back to you. Whatever you're doing in your life, remember that you're putting out the karma.
Yes.
And another thing is don't be afraid of the other side. Don't be afraid of your time. Don't go through life scared. I talk to a lot of people that have anxiety with everything, and
I've got my little squirrel paw up. Yes, I have anxiety.
Yeah, the thing is you can't stop what's meant to happen anyways. So it really doesn't do any good to live your life that way. I said, I'm gonna go how I'm gonna go. It's gonna happen in the time it's gonna happen. And the other thing is your loved ones, they're always with you. I always get this, is my grandpa with me? Is my dad with me? They can hear you. You don't need me to talk to them. Talk to them. They can hear you. Think whatever you think about them, they can hear you. There's many times where somebody has thought something during a reading and I've had an answer for it at the same time they thought about it. So that's just, and a lot of times they will talk about things going on in your life, so they are seeing it. They are there all the time. And I even have ones that jokingly say, I watch you all the time.
Wow.
So
I feel like we spend so much time worrying about all these things in our lives that most of the time, if we were to find out how things played out and what would come to fruition, is that a goat?
You have a goat too?
Oh my God!
I cannot with you, girl. You are not traveling. Nope.
Is it a house goat?
Yeah, for now he is. We'll see how that goes. Right now he jumps all over the couch. Isn't he cute?
Oh my God! How did you get one? Can I get one?
Recently lost one of my I had these two goats that were in the house. They were brothers.
I'm so sorry.
I recently lost one of them, and it was really tough. And I ended up with him the same day that he was cremated. I don't know. I think it was kind of meant to be.
I'm so sorry. That's so hard.
He's a good boy. He's a bottle fed baby.
My mother's goats just had babies, and I got to do the bottle feeding for the little. They were literally a few days old, and it's so funny because when they're that young, they don't know that they actually have to put the work in to put their mouth around the nipple of the bottle. So you have to literally shove it into their mouth.
Look him.
How precious! I love their eyes.
He is. He's got white eyes, and look at his nose is half an hour. I've never seen that before.
Does he do that?
He was sucking on my finger right now. I was like, his name's Zen. Like
Zen. Little Zen. Look at little Zen.
He's so cute.
Oh,
I'm going to try to potty train him. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to see if it'll work.
Oh, my God. Okay, I want a goat now. Yeah.
What a great picture to wrap the show up on, this cute little goat.
And like I said, I got him after a huge loss. So
I want to go.
That's another thing too, is people's animals. I think I'm gonna make a video about it. But
wow.
A lot of people have a hard time when they have to put their animals to sleep. It's your last act of love. We're all gonna go. You don't want to let them suffer, and they're okay with that. They know that. And they can come back. They can come back to you. They can reincarnate to you again if they want to.
Oh my God.
Our animals like to come back over and over because they want to be with us.
Oh.
What a beautiful sentiment that one day our lost pets could reunite with us. God, I hope so.
We do meet them at the. There's lots of times too, the ones that haven't come back, where I'll pick them up in readings. I love doing animal. I can do animal readings on the other side. I love it. They communicate better than people sometimes.
I bet, because they can't communicate verbally, so probably that's a much easier plane for them.
So unconditional. People like Ted Bundy have, it's my time. No, animals are unconditional. They love you no matter what. You could have one leg, they don't care. You could be, I don't know, five heads, they don't care. They love you for everything about you, which is why I think human beings should be more like that.
They should be.
Like,
he likes to eat my hair. They should be like.
Yeah.
We have to.
Wow, that's a nice goat.
Like have that compassion in life. There's not enough compassion.
She has a goat. Guys, she has a goat.
Yeah, I have goats outside too. I had to get the one that lost his brother, like a couple friends, because he didn't have anybody his age. So, and I wasn't gonna get any more, but I got him because it was like faded. It was one of those things.
Yeah, how could you not? Yeah.
The thing that was weird about it was that like a week before he passed away, I was like, oh, I want a La Mancha. I was telling Lizzie, like, I want a La Mancha. That's the last goat I want. Like, they're the ones with no ears, and I was like, I want it to be white. And so the goat passed away. I contacted the lady that I got those two from, and she's like, no, we don't have any right now, but our La Mancha's pregnant. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, let me know when it's born. I wasn't even thinking it's not going to be big enough to go with Archie yet because it's going to be really tiny. And so she had the baby. She contacted me. She's like, well, we have the La Mancha, but it has ears because they breed them with a Nigerian. So they can either have ears or not have ears. But it has a white, like blue eyes, like Arlo had, and it's white. It's got brown spots, but it's white. I was like, oh, okay, well. And she's like, well, if you want one, what do you want, a boy or girl? I said I want a boy because that's what I had. And wethers are really cool. If you take away their hormones, they're great. They're great pets.
If you remove the balls.
Yeah, they're great pets if you do that.
They banned them, right? Like,
I love how you say that. If they remove the hormones. No,
they're kind of a-holes when you leave them as a buck, but as a wether, they're great. And
I love it.
So she had the goat had one singleton boy. And I had met this goat like a year before, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want one of those. So I know what the mom looks like. The mom's all white and it's got no ears. And I just thought that was kind of my sign. I kept telling Lizzie, I'm not going to get the goat. No, I just got friends for him. Like, I don't need it. But it was like one of those things I couldn't say no to because I basically, So I was like, I'm going to take him in and have a house goat again because I really enjoyed, like, every time I would get on the couch, here comes Arlo, like laying on my chest, So
I love it.
They really are like puppy dogs too when they're babies like that.
He thinks he's a dog. Like I have him with a lot of my good dogs. Like there's a few dogs outside that haven't met him yet, but most of the dogs know him, and I think he thinks he's a dog. And he will jump around on the couch and jump over the dogs.
He's just part of the family. Doing? He loves everybody. He doesn't think anything. He's like, I am home.
He's like, I'm a dog, I'm a cat, I'm a human. Like, I don't know what I am.
Yeah. Just give me grass. Wait. Sorry for the noise. I didn't mean to clap. Sorry. Are you vegan?
No, I wish I could be. I totally wish I could be, but my body craves meat. It sucks.
Yes. As much as
I don't know if you guys noticed, but a lot of like A blood types will need the meat.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm A positive, and for some reason, like I've tried not to eat meat because I hate the thought of it, but I have a hard time with it. I can't. I don't know enough things without meat to make.
I love it.
Yeah, hard to get that much protein.
Yeah.
Beefy is so funny.
There's something about it. Like I need the iron and stuff. Like it sucks. I like steak, but but lobster is my favorite.
Lobster.
Oh, me too.
Oh my god,
that's my favorite food. I love lobster. Oh man.
Scoop.
Me too. That's my favorite. Red Lobster is my favorite place to go. All you can eat shrimp.
The Cheddar Bay biscuits. Woo!
Yeah. They have those in the frozen aisle.
They do.
Walmart.
Yes,
and they taste just like it.
Oh, was it? Okay.
You can make them too, but
they have the box version. The box versions are really good.
Yeah, I mean, it tastes like I can't tell the difference. But
Yeah.
That's my favorite place to go. So me and you vibe on that.
Yeah.
All three of us need to go to a Red Lobster after this. So we'll do a virtual thing. We'll go to our local Red Lobsters with our phones.
Do a live from Red Lobster.
Yeah, after party at Red Lobster.
That'd be so great.
Yeah, I need a Red Lobster gift card. Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny. He goes over to the microwave because that's where I heat up his bottle, and he starts crying. He just started doing that last night. I was like, "What is wrong with you?" He's like standing at the microwave, like, "Where's my milk?"
Look how trained we are. Look at that. And you responded, right? You're like, okay, I give you the bottle.
Exactly.
Right?
I just live here. That's it. I just live here. They own the house. I just live here.
This is funny.
Yeah, he's training you.
That's so hilarious. Okay, so let me just end part of this outro by saying thank you to you, Psychic Sleuth, and of course, thank you to you, Beefy, and to
Rochelle,
all of
thank
you.
you so much for having us. This
Yeah,
was so great. I had so much fun.
I think we should do this more often.
Yeah. Oh my God.
For sure.
I think the people really liked it. I mean, we had quite a lot here, and I think we're exciting. I don't think we're boring.
Yeah.
I think we're exciting.
And if you guys like true crime, definitely check out Boîte Noire Radio. The links are in the chat.
Yep. And we talk about anything and everything, but we try to focus a lot more on true crime. Beefy has a talent to tell stories, and I have a talent for blinking a lot. No. I'm kidding. No. But thank you guys so much. And I have to say, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I absolutely love the lives because there's no editing involved. I know, different story, but editing is such a monster. It's so nice to do lives because there's not that much editing. Sorry, Beefy, wink wink, love you very much. But you guys are awesome. Thank you for being so welcoming.
I know, I didn't even realize I lost my admin and we missed all this.
LOL.
Sorry,
the admin
Tammy.
was like, honey, I gotta go to sleep.
She's
right?
like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Oh no, Lizzie's here. Lizzie's here, right?
Yeah, Lizzie's here. But Tammy
Lizzie's
was in the
great.
back. She was doing all the they are.
Yeah.
They're good girls.
Thank you, Lizzie.
She's my bad influence. She will tell me anything. Like if I say I want something, and I'm like, talk me out of it, she'll talk me into it. It's bad. She talks.
Oh, I love it. Bad influencing friends.
She's a bad influence.
Yes.
Oh, please, they're the best. What are we doing today? I don't know. Stinking into Walmart and eating the food there. Perfect idea. Let's do it. Okay, that's a real story. That's a real story with my best friend from Pathmark. Let me tell you how scared I was. I was so scared. She's like, "Come on, we're really hungry. And we were broke in college." And I was like, "Okay, Linda, we have no money, but we're really hungry. What do we do?" So Linda's like, "Let's go to Pathmark and eat. If you get caught, we'll just spend our rent money." I was like, "Linda, we need a roof over our head." She's like, "But I'm really hungry." And she dragged us to Pathmark, and we pretended to be shopping, and we ate so good, croissants, grapes. And then we left, and we were like, "Oh my God, we did something so illegal." But she's like, "But we were very hungry, and we were broke as hell. It was either food or rent, and we chose to steal." How great is that? But that's the past. Don't judge me too hard because you've done worse. Guys,
Lizzie, yes, Rochelle is very kind and she's gracious to host us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, if you guys need to go and sub over there if you haven't, maybe we can do this more often. Like, I think this was fun. This was fun, right?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I already subbed to I was already a subscriber, but I've subbed over in the Boîte Noire channel too. So you got 2 new subscribers.
Are you a sub? As Alistaire a sub? He better be a sub.
Oh,
yes. Hey, let me tell you something.
You got some catching up to do.
No. Listen to me. I'm the poster child of support. You don't understand. No, even Beefy, I think I told you. Even I put on replay and I let it play. I let it play. I'm like, please replay, playlist, play until the cats come home. Yeah. Like when I do office work, honey, there's a screen here and it's being played. Yeah, I support. I always support. That's what friends do. Friends always support because it's tough out here. Friends always support.
I will attest. He brings his friends stuff and all the time. He's saying like, "Oh, my friend did this thing." Yeah, he's Alistair is a very kind and sharing soul. It speaks through the camera.
Always.
Did you
Always
watch the
do that.
Ted Bundy videos?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
See, you got
Nah,
catching
but wait,
up to do.
slow down.
You've got to
Slow
watch. No,
down.
you've got to watch Idaho 4.
No. I'm gonna watch it. No, but wait,
You
hold
got to
on one
watch the
second.
Idaho 4 one. You got
You
to.
got me. But no, listen, no, because I didn't want to taint my questions. I wanted
Yeah,
my
I
reaction.
gotcha.
I think I told you. I want my reaction to be authentic because even Beefy, when me and you, when we have our meeting, we're like, oh my god, don't stop talking, because then we're losing the natural reaction of, and then it's like, oh, you got to tell a whole different story because we talk a lot.
We were even doing it yesterday. We were like, we gotta stop talking.
We gotta stop talking, otherwise we lose
the
natural reaction to it. You know, it's like, wait, no more questions. Stop.
Yeah.
Right? Even I was
You guys going back and
out?
forth like crazy yesterday.
I was like, stop talking. I don't want to know because you're gonna taint my reaction. Stop. Like even the whole Ted Bundy stuff, I was like, okay, I don't want to hear too much. Be quiet. Remember, I was like, don't tell me more, because otherwise I won't be able to. But see, now I'm fixed on Ted Bundy. I'm gonna have a picture of him somewhere.
What, did you get all your questions out?
I did because I took a lot of notes. And if for those who are wondering, I'm a note taker. It helps me remember. That's just how I function. I talked about everything. And the only questions that I have left is just personally between me and you, because you know you're the tech guru, darling. But that's it. No, I got everything that I needed to get out. The only thing missing maybe is the lottery, as I put the notes lottery, and that was.
Oh, here we go.
If I could do
Yeah, that was.
numbers, I would have them.
Yeah. That was supposed to be like a funny joke thing at the lottery. I never got to that, but that's the only thing I didn't square out.
You know, like I always tell people, like we're not meant to know everything, and the people that win the lottery meant to win the lottery. Like we don't get the lottery numbers because we're not supposed to use it for personal gain like that.
Oh,
okay. And it's just it's one of those things. Like it's just not. We're not supposed to know it. If you win, you win. You're meant to win. That's how it goes.
What a great day that would be.
And
right?
the same thing, like you can't predict your own passing. Like it's the stupidest shit I've ever heard of. You know, saying, "Oh, Sylvia wasn't psychic; she couldn't predict her own passing." Like, we're not supposed to know when we're gonna leave this earth. Like, no. Like there's just stuff we're not supposed to know everything. Like I tell people, even before my readings, I tell them, like, I'm psychic, but I do not know everything about your life. I do not know everything about your situation. It does not work like that. Like, I get what spirit gives me, but you still have to have like surprises. Like, you still have to have surprises in life. You can't know everything that's going to happen. It just doesn't work like that. You know,
and life would be very boring if you knew everything. What?
Exactly.
That's why. Think about it. That's how you meet the people you meet, because you know you don't know anything. If you knew everything, you'll be like, I don't know, Jeff Bezos. I'm kidding. You're like, oh, I'm going to the moon because I'm bored. No, I'm kidding. No, but you know what? Do you know what I mean? No. And then the other thing, and the last thing on my notes, this was meant to be a funny segment. I'm glad we're laughing about it. Is the X-Men joke. You know, that I talked about as, you know, like, okay, so Rochelle is, you know, the psychic in the X-Men. She's like, okay, Alistair, go left, go right. And Beefy is a squirrel because he can get into holes and stuff. I'm like, okay. And I'm just, right. So she's like, okay, Beefy, make a left, make a right. We're going to save this criminal, I think. And then I'm just, wait, what am I? What this I was? All right. I'm just the distractor, loudmouth. Hello, officer. Look this way. All right, officer.
Oh no, what's the X-Men who has like the really loud scream, Banshee or whatever? Like
I'm the distractor. This way. Look, officer. And while Beefy scurry around behind the scene and steals the diamond, right? That's how we are. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you were on our X-Men team. What would you?
Yeah. If you were in the X-Men team, where would you fit in? Yeah, because we got the psychic lady, and we got the squirrel man, and we got the very loud mouth, which is me. So what would you be? And the goal is to steal the big diamond. Why the diamond? I have no idea. Right? Mm-hmm. Oh boy, what a mess. Love it.
Messes
all right, guys.
Mess.
And that was the. I lost track of what I was going to say. But it was important, but I hate when I do that.
I mean, that was the mantra of the Boîte Noire podcast in the beginning. We named it after the black box of an airplane. So the idea behind the podcast from the beginning was this would be trying to go back to find out where things went wrong and get the broadcast of the crash as it's happening. So it's very much consistent with our modus operandi going into this show.
It's an organized mess, but it's a complete mess.
It all comes full circle, organized chaos.
And it's all about having fun, of course.
And,
I hope you're all laughing.
I think that's another thing too, is like I have a lot of people come in there that, you know, all the skeptics like, you're fake, you're a fraud. And it's like, why? Okay, there are frauds and fakes out there. Don't get me wrong. There are.
Right.
There are.
Mm-hmm.
And they give us a bad name, but not everybody's like that. And it's one of those things where don't judge before you watch or before you get to know somebody. Like that's in your everyday life. Like don't judge a book by its cover. Like get to really know something. Like the proof is there. I always say the proof is in the pudding. Just, you know, but it drives me wild. Sometimes we get people in these comments that are like, no, it didn't happen that way. It happened this way. And it's like, okay, really? Were you there?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
That's like my biggest like pet peeve is when people come in like argue with spirit. I'm like, you guys weren't there.
Yeah, you guys weren't there.
Even Alistaire from the beginning when
time travelers, you know, are you time traveler? Like that's the same thing with like psychic readings. When I tell them something's gonna happen, I'm like, you're not a time traveler. Like you don't know yet.
You don't know.
Hang on to it.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on to it.
Okay. Yeah.
Lizzie says, whoever the bad influence is, that's me.
Yeah, amen.
What are we doing today? We go home and do nothing? Lizzie's like, no.
She's like, what are we doing today? Go buy some goats? That's Lizzie.
Right.
Yeah.
Lizzie, oh damn. She said, go buy some goats. Oh, Lizzie. Oh, no.
Yeah. That's how I ended up with him. She talked me into him. I kept trying to talk myself out. But I'm glad I did. I
love Lizzie's like, here's the goat. You take care of it. Bye. Yep. Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm doing bad decisions. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I have to go back to my kid.
I know. I do too. But he's in there crying at the
Oh, you have a kid? Oh, awesome. How old is yours?
The goat.
Okay.
He's in there crying at the microwave. No, my kid's 18.
Oh, wow. Good job. You did 18 years. Good job. Mine's one.
Sucks. 18 years suck. I don't even exist anymore.
LOL. He's like, thanks, Mom, for the birth and the milk.
Yeah, thanks, Mom, for birth. I'm gonna go live with my dad for a few years, and you don't even exist anymore.
Okay.
That's too bad.
Okay. And
but yeah. I try to tell myself like, where was I at 18? I was like the same.
So, yeah. It's an 18-year-old brain.
Hopefully one day he'll be like, you know, he's changed throughout the years. You know, our kids changed so much. He used to be so open and gifted himself, and he kind of blocked it off. And then now I don't know what he's doing. So he just, at least he graduated. That was like not going to happen for a while. So
I love it.
At least he did that. But 18, that age sucks. 16, 18 suck.
It sucks. 16 is when they start to be like, oh my God.
And you have a daughter, so you're even more screwed.
I know.
Be that age. But at least, you know, she's got two dads. So.
And I'm a sucker.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker. I'm easily fooled.
I was going to say, you probably give her everything she wants. Yes. All she's got to do is give you a certain look, and she's like, you're like, okay, here's
I'm like, okay, what do you want? Here. Papa, what do you want? Here. Yeah, I'm a sucker.
Just be careful, because I was that way too. They get spoiled, and then they know how to play you, and then you're screwed.
Oh God.
Yep, you're screwed.
Yeah. So this weekend we're going family vacation.
So good luck for you. You know, good luck for you raising a daughter.
Thank you. It was a lot of work to get her. So every day I look at her, even though she's a lot of work. Oh, honey, listen to me. Children.
No, I believe it.
I respect all parents in the world, even those who are not parents. But listen. Listen. I absolutely fall in love every time I look at her. It's so ridiculous. Sometimes I'm like, really? Like, come on, give me a break. Can I just not?
Because you're supposed to have her. You're supposed to we don't end up with the kids we're not supposed to. They're soul family. You know, you picked her and she picked you before you were ever born. That's just and that's why she's here. You know, you said it was hard to get her, but
it was so hard to get her.
You got her because she's supposed to be here.
Yeah. And then she give you those looks. Okay, sorry. Look at me being an idiot, and then I'll leave. Look, she goes like this. So she acts like she's not interested. So she's like, "Oh, are you looking at me again, Papa?" And she goes like this, and I go, "Ah!" And I just melt. I just die because it's this look.
Oh,
I'm
she's
like,
got you wrapped around her fingers.
anything you want. It's so ridiculous.
She's got you wrapped around your
It's
fingers.
so
Like,
ridiculous.
when she gets 16, she's like, Dad, can I have a car? Yes.
It's so nuts how I just melt for just looking at me, and she's probably like, "Why are you acting like that?" The other day, because I act a fool in real life, she stares at me and she's like, "Why is he acting like that?" You know, in my head, I'm thinking she stares at me like, and I'm sitting there doing cartwheels, screaming like, "Olympia, my daughter, I love you so much." And she's like, "What's going on?" Anyway, all right, I gotta go. I love you. No, I do. The reason why, no, the reason why is because Chris has been on baby duty all morning. I had a meeting in New York City all day. I haven't even, no, he's like, I'm not a single parent, Alistair. Are you going to take this kid? No, I got to take this kid. I love you all.
There's been tons of fun, guys.
Yeah. So, who's gonna segment us out, or do I just like bye?
You're our host, Alistair. Bring us home.
Watching.
All right, everybody, love yourself, love your kids, love your neighbor. Go out there and subscribe and like. What's wrong with you? No, I'm kidding. And then goodbye, right?
Yeah. And subscribe to the Boîte Noire podcast.
Yeah, and then we would love to do it again. We'll do it again because we're stuck together like glue, right, Beefy?
Yeah, we're kind of screwed now. I believe that everything happens for a reason. That includes people meeting and doing things like that. So whenever people contact me, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do it. It's for a reason. You know, I'm sure.
I can't wait. Look at all the criminals we're going to talk about. They have no idea what's coming.
They have no idea.
The psychic, the squirrel that goes into holes, and the big mouth. They are
we'll have to do a recurring bit that when we start a new case, like we get our little.
That would be kind of cool.
What does our second consultant say about this new murder we're going into?
Oh yeah! Oh my God, they're so screwed. They can all get us except Beefy because nobody knows how you look like Beefy. So me and Jennifer, look at me. Me and Rochelle would be like in the back of a car. No, it's not us. Beefy's like.
Yeah, they're all looking for squirrels.
There was a psychic that was arrested because she led police to a body. Well, actually, she found the body, and then she called, and she kept trying to tell them, "Look, the body's here." This was on Psychic Detectives. They arrested her because she found the body. She knew too much about it. They arrested her. She was in jail for 3 days, and it obviously wasn't her. She had no ties.
Right.
Wow.
And she sued. She sued, and she won.
Perfect.
So no cops better arrest me because I will sue.
Exactly. And I'll pull the black card. Please. I'll be like, don't touch me. Oh, what a mess.
Yeah. So, I mean, it does happen. You're joking, but it does happen. Well, it has happened, we should say.
What a great day. But I have to go now. So I'm clicking.
Have a great night, everybody.
Have a great night, everyone. I'm clicking in one. No. Beefy, I do that even together. Wait, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Right? I'm doing it too. We haven't done it in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing it too? Oh, gee, I can't tell. Anyway. So,
good night, guys.
Bye. No. Oh, it's not.